My child, stop everything. I mean it. Because what you're about to hear is not just a message. It's your divine confirmation. You didn't stumble here by accident. I summoned you. Heaven moved a time, an algorithm to bring you to this moment because you finally did IT. And now, everything is about to shift. But only if you don't scroll past what I ordained to wake your soul. Don't blink. Don't skip. Don't silence what I'm shouting to your spirit. Watch this all the way through, because I've hidden answers in every second. You've waited long enough, not low enough, believed through too much to miss this. I'm about to reveal why the war was so intense, why the delay was so long, and why this moment is so sacred. Stay with me. I'm not just talking to you. I'm about to move through you. My beloved, before you took your first breath, I etched this moment into the scroll of your destiny. This is not a random checkpoint. This is the culmination of so many silent nights, unseen sacrifices, and faithful yeses that no one else applauded but I recorded. My eyes have never looked away from you. Even in the hours when you felt abandoned, when the room echoed with silence, and your prayers returned like unanswered letters, I was there. I watched as you wrestled through doubt, not to judge your weakness but to strengthen your resolve. You did it, child. You made it through a season where everything around you screamed that giving up was reasonable, and yet something inside you whispered, "Keep going." That whisper, it was me. I placed it within you when your own strength began to flicker. I carried you through storms you didn't recognize as storms, pain you didn't realize was holy pressure. And now, this moment, right here, right now, is when heaven stands to its feet. This is the moment where angelic voices resound not just with praise, but with the sound of doors unlocking, promises breaking open, and strategies being activated because your obedience touched the heart of your Creator. You finally did it. Not by striving, not by earning, but by surrendering when it would have been easier to self-protect. You laid down your timeline. You laid down your need for validation. You let go of the opinions that once shaped your worth, and you leaned into me, not because you saw results, but because you believed I was still worthy, even in silence. That kind of faith, child, rare, raw, relentless, moves things in the spirit that no amount of hustle or ambition ever could. I'm not celebrating your perfection. I'm celebrating your posture. The way your knees hit the floor when your heart felt too heavy to stand. The way you kept speaking life while your own soul was gasping for breath. I saw you all, and heaven didn't just observe. It took notes. Your name has been spoken in rooms you've never walked into yet. Not because of who you know, but because of how you endured. Now I am announcing, with a weight of eternity behind every word, you finally did it. The waiting room is now the birthing room. The wilderness has now become the waterway, and I am standing in your midst, not with a lecture, but with a reward, not because you earned it, but because you carried something sacred and refused to let it die. You were faithful in the fog, and now I am about to show you what that faithfulness awakened in heaven's agenda. My beloved, I need you to feel the full weight of what just happened in the heavens, because what you think was a small finish, I have called a holy fulfillment. You didn't merely wrap up a season. You passed through a furnace designed not to destroy, but to distinguish. You didn't just complete a task. You finished a divine test, one that was woven into the marrow of your calling long before you ever cried your first cry. Do not reduce this sacred victory into a check mark on your timeline. This wasn't a deadline. This was a destiny door. And you didn't just walk through it, you warred through it. You bled through your breakthroughs. You bent under the weight but never broke. You shook under pressure but never shattered. You felt forgotten, but you kept following. And that's why today, all of heaven exhales in celebration, because the moment you passed through the invisible threshold, something irreversible was triggered in the realm of my glory. Yes, child, I set a test before you, but not like man does. This was not about performance, but about purity. It wasn't to trap you, but to transform you. I wanted to see, would you still worship when the windows of heaven felt sealed shut? Would you still trust me when timelines twisted and nothing made sense but my word? And oh, how you surprised even the watchers assigned to you. You chose faith over fear, honor over hatred, prayer over panic. You silenced the roaring lions of doubt with the whisper of surrender. That wasn't weakness, child. That was warfare. The kind that shakes foundations, severs generational curses, and stuns the enemy into silence. I didn't need your perfection. I needed your perseverance. And what you just passed wasn't graded by the world's standards. It was measured by eternal scales that weigh the hidden yes, the private obedience, the tears that fell like incense, watering the dry soil of your promise. You were being tested in ways no one else could see, and you passed in ways only heaven could understand. I allowed the delay not to discourage you, but to develop something deeper. A root system in your soul that now runs too deep to be uprooted by shallow circumstances. While others were sprinting with speed, I was shaping your stamina. You were not behind, child. You were being built for what can only be carried by those who have walked through the fire and still chosen to bless me. You didn't just survive. You transcended. The test was disguised in daily trials, hidden in heartbreaks, wrapped in routine, and still, you never quit. You waited without whining. You gave when it hurt. You stood when it seemed senseless. That kind of faith does not go unrewarded. That kind of endurance does not echo unnoticed. I didn't test you to break you. I tested you to brand you. And now there's a mark of my covenant on your spirit that even darkness trembles to touch. And child, because you passed this divine test, the announcement has been made in the unseen. They are ready. Ready for revelation. Ready for restoration. Ready for the next realm of responsibility. This test has shifted you from waiting to walking, from wondering to wielding. You now carry authority you didn't even know was growing inside you. You passed not by pretending to be strong, but by admitting your need for me at every turn. That's the real victory. That's what I've been waiting for. And now, the doors that were locked behind layers of time are swinging open at the sound of your name, not because you performed, but because you endured. Well done, faithful one. What I'm unlocking next is only accessible to the tested and trusted, and that is now you. Let me take you back, child, not to punish but to honor. To every moment when you stood on the edge of giving up, yet didn't. To every hour when no one was watching and you still chose me. Every silent surrender, every whispered yes spoken through cracked lips and tear-stained pillows, has echoed louder in heaven than the grandest sermon shouted on a stage. I need you to understand something. Nothing was wasted. Not the lonely yes. Not the trembling prayers. Not the aching obedience. Each act of surrender became a witness, not just a moment observed, but a testimony recorded in the eternal courts of my justice. When you knelt in private, the heavens stood in attention. When you wept alone, angels marked the moment with reverence. The things you thought were small were thunders in my ears. The things you thought went unnoticed became evidence in the courtroom of glory that you were trustworthy with what others would have thrown away. You see, child, earth rewards the loud, the seen, the celebrated. But I, the Lord your God, reward the faithful, the hidden, the surrendered. You didn't need a crowd to validate your calling. You didn't wait for applause to decide if I was worth obeying. You chose me in the dark, and now I will vindicate you in the light. Every time you bit your tongue instead of retaliating, that was worship. Every time you forgave instead of seeking revenge, that was warfare. Every time you kept sowing when the soil looked dry, that was divine defiance against despair. I recorded it all, not just as memories but as mandates. Your tears have a voice, and they have been testifying on your behalf in my presence. And now I am responding, not with vague comfort, but with visible confirmation. Don't think I forgot how much it cost you. I saw when you said yes, and it meant losing relationships, opportunities, status. I saw when your surrender wasn't sweet, it was suffocating. But you still bowed. And that kind of posture becomes a portal. It opens realms that strategy and networking can never reach. You made your surrender a sanctuary, and now I have declared that your obedience will not remain invisible. What I'm about to do next in your life is not payment. It is proof. Proof that I saw. Proof that I heard. Proof that the silence was not neglect, but a setup. The courtroom has convened. The scrolls have been opened. And the witnesses, your surrender, your faith, your unseen battles, are all standing now, declaring, this one did not give up. And I, the judge of all, am issuing the verdict. It is time. You must know this. Your silent surrender didn't just move me emotionally. It moved me strategically. I began shifting kingdoms when you said yes. I began releasing angels when you refused to bow to fear. I began opening books with your name on them the moment you kept walking through the fog. You surrendered silently, but I will respond loudly. The evidence of your sacrifice will soon appear in conversations you didn't initiate, in doors you didn't knock on, in rooms you never entered but were called into. And when it happens, child, when the blessing breaks through like a trumpet blast into the quiet, remember this. It all started with a whispered yes that I treasured more than gold. That yes is what built this moment. That yes is why the heavens are roaring now with the sound of release. The courtroom has ruled. The silence has ended. And the reward of the surrendered is rushing toward you like a holy flood. My child, come closer. I want you to hear this not as information, but as impartation. You've lived through seasons where the silence felt deafening. Days when you wondered if your efforts, your pain, your perseverance were invisible. You thought no one saw. But child, I saw. I saw when your hands shook and still you served. I saw when your heart broke and still you forgave. I saw when your name was dismissed, overlooked, or misunderstood, and still you refused to let bitterness build a home inside you. I was not a distant spectator. I was the closest witness, closer than your breath, closer than your pain. And not only did I see, I recorded. Yes, I recorded every moment. Heaven is not run by forgetfulness, child. Heaven is not managed by delay. It is measured by divine detail. And nothing, not one act of obedience, not one moment of integrity, not one tear-stained prayer, slipped through the cracks of my attention. While the world was applauding those with loud platforms, I was archiving your silent sacrifices. While others gathered followers, you gathered faith. While some pursued visibility, you pursued me. That is not overlooked. That is overqualified in my kingdom. Do not mistake obscurity for irrelevance. You were hidden for preservation, not for punishment. You were unseen not because I forgot you, but because I was storing up every moment as sacred evidence for this hour. And child, I didn't just keep record to comfort you. I recorded it to respond. And now, that record is becoming reward. The pages are turning, not in fiction, but in fulfillment. My justice doesn't forget. My mercy doesn't overlook. The fire you walked through wasn't just for endurance, it was for elevation. I'm not raising you up because of popularity, but because of purity. I'm not promoting you for your performance, but because of your posture. The world may not have clapped, but heaven stood still. Angels paused in awe every time you chose righteousness when resentment was more convenient. I saw you walk away from conversations that could have defended your name, and I defended it myself. I saw you stay silent when you could have fought back, and I fought for you. What was hidden in those moments is now becoming holy evidence, and that evidence is about to unlock doors no man can close. You see, child, when I record, I also redeem. What looked like delay was actually divine documentation. You've been living a scroll I've been writing in real time, and now, the seals are being broken. This next chapter doesn't begin with striving, but with suddenness, with overflow, with open doors. You will not have to explain yourself in this season. I will do it for you. You won't have to prove yourself. I've already proven you in the private places. And now I'm placing you in public platforms, not for ego, but for evidence. Evidence of my glory, my goodness, and my grace, all written into the very pages of your perseverance. You thought no one saw. But I, your Father, your Creator, your closest friend, I saw everything. And I say now with holy clarity, it is time. There comes a moment in heaven when the scrolls are checked, the pages reviewed, the silence lifted, and the verdict sealed. And child, that moment is now. The record of your obedience, your waiting, your surrender, it has not just been stored, it has now been stamped. Complete. The testing phase is over. The qualifying season is finished. You have crossed the invisible line from preparation into manifestation. What you've endured has reached divine completion. Not because you knew all the answers, not because you were always strong, but because you stayed, because you didn't let the weight of delay drive you from my presence, because you chose the narrow path when the wide one looked easier. You kept showing up. You kept praying. You kept giving when you barely had. And heaven watched. And now heaven rules, complete. Let me speak plainly to your soul, beloved. This is not just a season change. This is a spiritual verdict. This is the moment the courtroom of heaven declares that what was needed from you in this last season has been fulfilled. You were being measured not in achievements, but in alignment. And now, the scale has tipped. Not toward loss, but toward release. This isn't about doing more. This is about becoming more. You have become the kind of vessel that can carry what I am now ready to pour. A delay wasn't denial. It was me protecting you from being overloaded before you were deeply rooted. But now your roots are firm. Now your heart is positioned. Now your posture is ready. And so I stamp this phase of the journey complete, and immediately I begin the next. You will begin to notice it. Divine acceleration in unlikely places. Surprising alignments that make no natural sense. Doors that once rejected you will now request you. Conversations that once drained you will now confirm you. The atmosphere around you is already shifting because the verdict has been rendered. And that verdict is not a soft suggestion. It is a sovereign seal. What was once withheld because it would have crushed you is now being released because you can carry it. What once felt like closed doors were actually guarded gates. But now, the guard has been dismissed, and the gates are swinging wide. I did not forget your prayers. I recorded them in ink made of tears, and now I am responding with answers laced in glory. Hear me clearly, child. The word complete is not the end. It is the beginning of the next unfolding. The ending of one instruction signals the activation of another. You passed what others abandoned. You trusted me in trial, so now I'm trusting you with territory. The scroll is complete, but the unveiling has just begun. And I, the author and finisher, am standing now with the next chapter in hand, not hesitant, not wondering, but ready. You completed the private season. Now comes the public revealing. What I do next will not just bless you, it will mark you. It will separate you from the crowd. It will confirm that you were not waiting in vain. You were waiting in faith, and that faith has finished its course. You didn't just cross a line. You finish a scroll. And that scroll, child, is now unsealed, not someday but today. Child, slow down your heart for a moment. Still your breath. I am not in a rush, and I don't want you to be either, because what I am about to place in your hands is sacred. It is not just something to celebrate. It is something to carry. You've been thinking of this breakthrough like a reward for surviving the storm, but I need to correct your vision. This isn't a trophy. This is a trust. It's not a ribbon for endurance. It's a revelation born through intimacy. This isn't something I give to the strong. It's something I give to the surrendered. You cry out for my tying, and now my tying is crying out for you. The release is not the finish line. It is the ignition. The fire that I have hidden. The blueprint that I protected. The holy weight that I wrapped in delay. It is now ready, and I am placing it in your hands, not as a prize, but as a piece of my divine agenda. The world tells you to earn, but I have called you to encounter. This is not the fruit of striving. This is the fragrance of surrender. I didn't wait for you to prove yourself. I waited for you to empty yourself. That's the difference. You see, I don't place precious revelation in the hands of the rushed, the proud, or the loud. I release it into the hearts of those who have learned how to kneel in the quiet, hearts that have broken and still believe. What I am placing in your hands will feel familiar, like something you've longed for but couldn't name. Because it's not coming from the outside in, it's rising from the inside out. It's the very thing I began weaving into your DNA before you were formed in the womb. A sacred assignment, a divine unveiling. Not a generic gift, but a generational key. It will unlock things your bloodline has waited centuries to see. And it will not just bless you, it will bless those who didn't even know your name. This is legacy, not luxury. This is calling, not comfort. This is not just for your relief, it is for my glory. And I must say this clearly, child, what I am revealing now is not random, recycled, or repurposed. It's original. It's yours. It's tailored, with timelines wrapped in eternity's fabric. This is what I protected when everything around you felt delayed. This is what I preserved when others were promoted. You thought I was being silent, but I was safeguarding a scroll written only for your hands to unroll. And now that your spirit is steady and your heart is humble, I can entrust you with it. But hear me. You must treat it not like a prize but like a prophecy. It carries weight. It requires worship. It demands wonder. It may look like opportunity, but it moves like obedience. It will pull you deeper. It will ask for more. And in doing so, it will transform not just your life, but the lives of many through you. You are not receiving something to display. You are receiving something to deploy. And the power within it is not found in what it gives you, but in what it awakens in others. So hold it carefully, beloved. You'll find it, follow it. Don't announce it prematurely to absorb it privately. What I'm handing you now will require more stillness than noise, more listening than explaining, more presence than performance. This is the kind of revelation that doesn't come with flashing lights. It comes with holy lightness, with quiet thunder, with silent strategy, and only the surrendered can hear the next instructions. So take a deep breath, open your spirit, and receive not a reward, but a revelation, one I've written just for you, for this time, for this purpose, and for a kingdom reason greater than you've ever dared imagine. Pause with me here, beloved. Let me say it slowly, so the full gravity sinks into your soul. You did it. You stood. You didn't flee when fear screamed. You didn't flinch when the battle turned brutal. You didn't fold when failure tried to define you. You stood. When others retreated, you remained. When many chose escape, you chose endurance. And I watched when you walked through fire, not just hoping for escape, but pleading for meaning. I saw how each step required more than strength. It required surrender. Because you weren't walking with clarity, you were walking with covenant. You did have the map, but you followed the whisper. You didn't see the outcome, but you trusted my outstretched hand. And child, I need you to know that obedience didn't just move your story forward. It moved eternity. What you stood through will never be fully understood by those who only watched from a distance. Because they saw the service, but I saw the strain. I saw how your knees buckled, how your chest ached, how your soul screamed in the quiet. I saw how you stayed, not because it made sense, but because my voice meant more to you than your own comfort. You stood, not because you felt strong, but because you refused to betray what I whispered in the night. And that, child, that is rare. That is holy. That is why I called you chosen. You didn't just pass a test, you passed a threshold. You crossed into a realm reserved for the trusted. Because you stood where others sat down. You prayed when others panicked. You worshipped when others wavered. And that kind of standing did not go unnoticed in my courts. Let me take you deeper into what this means. When you stand in the Spirit, you're not just defying the enemy, you're defining history. You altered the storyline of your legacy by refusing to quit. Do you understand that? You altered outcomes by standing when giving up would have made more sense. And because of that, there is a weight of glory now being poured into your life, not as a thank you, but as a next step. Standing was not your ending. It was your entrance. Standing didn't just keep you from falling. It qualified you to fly. I'm not just honoring your endurance, I'm entrusting you with elevation. Because anyone can walk when the path is clear, but only my warriors walk when the way disappears. And child, that is who you've become. Not just a believer, but a breaker. A breaker of cycles. A disruptor of patterns. A foreigner of freedom. So stand now in the strength I'm releasing. Not with exhaustion, but with expectation. Stand not as one barely surviving, but as one rising into the reason you were created. What others will call sudden, I call scheduled. What others will label favor, I call fruit. The fruit of faithfulness in dry places. The fruit of belief in barren fields. The fruit of standing when it would have been easier to sit it out. You did it, child. You stood where others walked away. And now I will walk you into places their eyes have never seen. Not because you fought the loudest, but because you stayed the longest. And your staying has summoned a shift that no enemy can now undo. Beloved, I want to linger with you here for a moment, because this part of your story holds a fragrance that heaven can still smell. In a world obsessed with platforms and praise, you walked a different path. You didn't run after recognition. You didn't sell your surrender for popularity. You didn't perform to be seen. You only wanted me. And oh, how that desire stirred something in the holy chambers of heaven. You turned down shortcuts that others took without thought. You stepped away from moments that would have elevated your name but emptied your soul. You didn't choose the spotlight. You chose the secret place. You chose the shadows of my presence over the shine of public approval. That is rare. That is reverent. That is the kind of heart that moves me beyond words. I watched you scroll past opportunities that would have fed your ego but starved your anointing. I watched you decline invitations that would have made you more visible but pulled you further from my voice. You resisted the pressure to self-promote. You refused to manipulate doors open with charm or strategy. And instead, you kept showing up in silence. You kept praying in private. You kept sowing in secret. And that kind of posture, child, it carries eternal weight. It is not trendy, but it is timeless. While others were gathering followers, you were gaining favor. While others were building brands, you were building altars. You didn't chase applause, you chased my affection. And the pursuit has prepared you for something applause could never give you, authority. Because let me tell you something sacred. When you pursue me over visibility, I give you vision that no crowd can compete with. When you choose me over the moment, I give you momentum that outlasts the temporary. And now, the moment has come when I, not man, will lift you. I am the one who raises the humble. And because you did not force your way into rooms, I will open doors that no force of man could fabricate. Your heart of quiet obedience has created a sound in heaven louder than any microphone. The rooms I'm leading you into now are not built on popularity but purity. They were never meant to be filled by the loudest voice. They were preserved for the one with the cleanest hands and the purest heart. And child, that is you. So don't be surprised when platforms find you, when influence increases, when doors begin to open without you knocking. It is not a reward for seeking success. It is my response to your hidden hunger. I will show others what I saw in secret, not to prove your worth, but to fulfill my word. I will ask, where did this one come from? And I will answer, from the backside of obedience, from the depths of surrender, from the secret place where they never stopped wanting me more than anything else. Because you didn't chase applause, you're now going to carry an anointing that silences every critic and surpasses every trend. You only wanted me, and now I'm giving you more of myself than you ever thought possible. Not just presence, but power. Not just a whisper, but a wave. This is your inheritance, and I have found you ready. Lean in, child. Something is stirring in the unseen. Do you feel it? That divine trembling beneath the surface of your days. That strange pressure in your chest that will let you rest the same. It's not random. It's not stress. It's not fatigue. It's me. It's the evidence of movement. The spirit realm is not still. Heaven is not silent. Right now, this very second, angels are shifting positions. Assignments are being exchanged. Messengers are being dispatched. Timelines are being rearranged. Why? Because your surrender activated something massive. When you said yes, fully, completely, with no strings attached, you pulled the lever of supernatural acceleration. You gave me permission to move, not just around you, but through you. And I responded not slowly, not cautiously, but immediately. Do not be deceived by how quiet the natural world seems. Movement in my realm is not always accompanied by noise. Some of the greatest shifts are announced only by stillness. What you think is delay is actually divine orchestration. The silence you feel is not absence. It is alignment. My angelic hosts are not idle. They are being repositioned around you like a divine army forming new ranks. The strategies I'm releasing now are not recycled. They are fresh from the throne. Angels who once stood in wait are now marching. Chains that once mocked your progress are being broken before you even touch them. The enemies that resisted you last season are being disarmed, not by your strength, but by your surrender. And I am rearranging the chessboard of your life to deliver something unblockable. You are not waiting on a move. You are the move. You stepped into the current of fulfillment, and now you're being carried by something no man can sabotage. Prophetic appointments are being fulfilled without formal invitations. Conversations are happening in rooms you've never entered, and your name is being whispered by lips you've never met, not as gossip, but as divine instruction. And when the doors swing open, do not say, "Why me?" Say it, of course, this is what was moving in the unseen, because you are now walking into what was already completed in the Spirit. The glory that has hovered is now landing. The angels that waited are now delivering. This is not preparation. This is performance, not a show, but a shepherding of promise into manifestation. And I want you to hold on to this truth. Beloved, when angels move, outcomes shift. The impossible bends. The atmosphere obeys. What was stuck begins to flow. And that is what's happening right now. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. You don't need to do more. You need to discern more. Stay present. Stay yielded. Listen for whispers wrapped in ordinary moments, because those whispers carry the sound of wings. I have set my angels in motion for you. The battle has already begun. The breakthrough is already underway. And the shift is so precise, so divine, so undeniable that when it lands, you will say with holy awe, "Surely, the Lord moved on my behalf." And child, I will answer, "Yes, and I'm still moving." Beloved, let me set your heart free from a burden you were never meant to carry. The world may have taught you to perform, to strive for perfection, to measure your value by applause, numbers, and outcomes, but that has never been my language. I do not weigh you with the scales of success. I do not grade you by metrics or milestones. I do not search for Voldes performance, they search for faithful posture. I never called you to impress me. I invited you to walk with me. And child, that's exactly what you did. Through all the pressure, the noise, the unanswered questions, and the fatigue that settled in your bones, you didn't perform, you postured. You bowed low when it would have been easier to stand tall in pride. You lifted your hands when heaviness told you to fold them in defeat. You surrendered your expectations when everything inside you begged for control. That is posture, and that is what moved heaven. You must know this. Performance can dazzle a room, but posture transforms a realm. A performer may gain the praise of men, but a posture of surrender gains the power of God. What I'm doing in your life was never going to be the result of a polished resume or perfect obedience. No, this is the harvest of your humility, the fruit of your hidden faithfulness, the reward of your worship in the wilderness. You postured your heart toward me, even when your flesh was weary, even when your circumstances contradicted my promises. That's what I've been watching. That's what I've been waiting for. And now, child, because your posture is set, your promise is ready. You bent before me, so now I raise you up. You remained yielded, so now I release what was withheld. You chose the floor of my presence over the pedestal of performance, and now I'm lifting you into places where only posture can sustain you. You see it now. How the battles you fought weren't trying to attack your gifting, they were targeting your posture. The enemy wasn't threatened by what you could do. He was terrified by how you stayed surrendered, because the moment your heart aligned in stillness, heaven began to thunder. When your knees hit the ground, a countdown began, a holy collision between yielded posture and divine timing. And now, the appointed hour has come. But child, I need to make this clear as I lift you, as I bless you, as I open doors with my own hand. Never trade posture for performance. Stay bowed. Stay yielded. Let your life remain a sanctuary, not a stage. Keep your heart low, and I will keep your influence high. You don't need to perform to keep what I gave through surrender. You don't have to fight to remain in favor. This isn't about striving. This is about stillness. Stay small in spirit, and I will make your life a spectacle of glory. And hear me, with full assurance, I am not just celebrating you for getting it right. I am crowning you for staying low. You didn't achieve your way here. You aligned your way here. And I don't want your next steps to be marked by stress, pressure, or anxiety. I want them marked by peace. Peace that flows from posture. Peace that can't be shaken by attention, or comparison, or performance fatigue. Let this moment be sealed in your spirit. I lifted you not because you performed well, but because you postured faithfully. And that posture, that holy bow, is your access to every next thing I'm about to release. And child, as you step into this turning point, I want you to hear this. You're not the only one I'm awakening. There are others, many others, who are on the edge of their finally did it moment, but they need a sound to awaken them. A word, a whisper, a signal of heaven to reach them through the storm. That's why I'm inviting you now, not just to receive, but to sow into the sound. When you support this word through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you're planting spiritual seed into good, prophetic ground. This isn't charity, it's kingdom assignment. You are fueling the light that pierces the night for someone else's breakthrough. And I will bless what you give with multiplied return, not just financially, but in favor, protection, and acceleration. So now, and watch me move through your obedience. Come closer, child. Let me wrap this truth around your weary shoulders like a cloak of rest. You've moved beyond striving. The season of straining for proof, pushing for results, and laboring under invisible pressure has ended. I did not call you to exhaustion. I called you to ease in me. You've crossed into a realm where the striving has ceased, and the release has begun. And this is not just a shift in circumstances. It's a shift in your spirit. The anxious questions that once kept you awake are losing their grip. The fears that fueled your performance are falling silent. Because I, the Lord your God, am now shifting you from the pursuit of breakthrough into the possession of being. You're not chasing anymore, you're carrying. You're not reaching for crumbs, you're receiving bread. You're not begging for water, you're becoming a fountain. And all of this began the moment you stopped striving to make it happen and started surrendering to let it happen through me. This is what I've longed to bring you into, a realm not earned by effort, but access through alignment. A place where my word works for you because it has been written into you. You've labored long enough under the belief that more effort equals more favor. But in my kingdom, favor flows not from grinding, but from grace. You are now entering the divine current of flow, not frenzy. Strategy didn't get you here. Surrender did. And child, now that you stopped striving, I can finally start revealing. There are blessings I've been holding back, not because you weren't worthy, but because you were still trying to work for what I wanted to give. And now, because you've learned to trust me even when nothing was moving, I am releasing everything that was waiting. This realm of release doesn't require you to chase opportunity. It attracts opportunity to your feet. It draws the right voices into your path. It manifests provision you didn't plan for, and it will shock you. Because in this place, acceleration replaces anxiety. Peace replaces pressure. Obedience replaces overthinking. And joy, O child, a joy unlike any you've tasted, rises without a reason. This is what happens when my spirit begins to take over the soil you used to till in tears. I'm redeeming your efforts. I'm resurrecting your rest. And I'm raining down fulfillment in places you didn't even know were dry. The release isn't just coming to you. It's coming through you. Watch how I use your very life to water others. Watch how the very thing you wept over now becomes a well of wisdom for many. You've entered the river, and I am its source. And here is the holy truth I want you to keep close. Striving tried to steal your strength, but surrender secured your seat. You are seated now, not in passivity, but in promise. You are not pacing the floor of frustration. You are positioned in a place of release where I do the heavy lifting. Do not pick back up what I've already lifted off you. Don't return to the mindset of merit. Stay in the movement of grace. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are released. And from this place, child, we will run together. Not frantically, but freely. Because the realm of release is not a reward. It is a rhythm. And now that you're in it, it will carry you further than striving ever could. Beloved, I know you've wondered. The question has echoed in your heart more times than you could count. Why did it get harder just when I was doing everything right? I heard the ache in your whisper, even when you tried to pray through clenched teeth and silent tears. And today, I want to give you divine clarity, not to explain away the pain, but to honor the process. This is why the warfare intensified. This is why the pressure increased. Not because you were doing something wrong, but because you were stepping into everything right. The enemy does not waste his weapons on people who are not dangerous. Hell does not panic over comfort. It panics over consecration. And you, child, you have become a threat. You were not under attack because you were failing. You were under attack because you were birthing. And birth always comes with resistance. As you pressed deeper into purpose, something in the atmosphere shifted. As your yes grew louder, the spiritual opposition grew more violent. But hear me, the battle wasn't punishment. It was proof. Proof that the alignment you chose began disrupting ancient patterns. Proof that generational chains started snapping in the unseen. Proof that your obedience caused ripple effects that shook structure set against your bloodline for decades. You were never just fighting for yourself. You were fighting for legacy, for lineage, for the ones who will come after you and walk freer because you didn't quit when the pressure peaked. And yes, I allowed the intensity to increase, but not to destroy you. I allowed it to develop you. A fire refined what fear tried to distort. The warfare revealed the warrior within. When you stood in that storm, bruised, but breathing, weary, but still worshiping, you declared to every principality that your faith could not be broken by battle. The very resistance that tried to silence you actually revealed your sound. And child, now that sound is echoing through dimensions. It has become a holy frequency, one that marks you as unshakable. You've proven, not to me, but to the realm of darkness, that your roots run too deep to be pulled up by pressure. So now, take this truth and wear it like armor. The increased warfare was a signal that your window was opening. The closer you got to release, the more violently the gates of opposition shook. But none of it prevailed. You're still here. still standing, still surrendered. And because of that, the enemy's last tactic has failed. You've crossed the line. You've endured the labor. And now, you're not just exiting warfare, you're entering witness. I will now use every battle you fought to become a banner of breakthrough for others. What once bruised you will now bless multitudes. What once felt like punishment will now prove to be preparation. Child, the warfare increased because the heavens were aligning. And now, they've aligned. It is time. Oh, my precious one, don't think I missed it. That exact moment when everything inside you collapsed into a silent, broken whisper. I can't do this anymore. I saw it. I felt it. I was right there with you. Not watching from afar like some distant observer, but right beside you, wrapping your collapse in my compassion, holding your breathless spirit in the warmth of my eternal patience. You didn't know it then, but that was one of your holiest moments. Not because of your strength, but because of your surrender. You thought you were failing. I was calling it foundational. Because in that moment, your strength ended, and mine began. Do you remember what happened next? You didn't even know how you got up, how you kept going, how you kept believing when nothing around you had changed. Let me tell you how. I carried you. Yes, I carried you. Not symbolically, not metaphorically. I literally lifted your soul out of that pit of exhaustion and placed it into the palm of my rest. I shielded your spirit when the darkness crept too close. I breathed life back into your lungs when hope had been drained dry. And that breath, that next step you took when it made no sense to continue, that step you held, that one movement, small, unnoticed by others, was thunder in the spirit. Because every time you move forward in weakness, you are testifying to a kingdom that moves in grace, not grit. You must know this, child. Your collapse wasn't your failure. It was your crossing point. That moment of total surrender, when you had nothing left to give, was when I began giving you what you couldn't earn. That step you took when your soul was screaming, "I'm done," became the very portal through which divine strength flowed. Heaven doesn't celebrate perfection. It celebrates dependence. And you, in that moment of empty hands and tear-soaked faith, became the exact kind of vessel I can use. You stopped performing. You stopped pretending. And that's when I poured in peace like a flood. You think you barely made it, but I say, you moved mountains. Not visible ones, but internal ones, spiritual ones. And that movement didn't just change your life. It changed the storyline of others who are now watching your courage. And now, child, I want you to revisit that moment, not to relive the pain, but to redeem the memory. Because what looked like the lowest point was actually the turning point. That I can't do this anymore wasn't a resignation. It was a revelation. You were never supposed to do it alone. And now, because of that surrender, there is a fresh strength inside you that doesn't burn out. A rootedness that doesn't flinch. A peace that makes no sense to the world but makes perfect sense to heaven. So when you look back at that moment again, I want you to hear me whisper over it. That's where I took over. And child, I never stopped carrying you since. Child, let me take you back, not to shame you but to show you. To those moments when your faith was fragile, your confidence was cracked, and your prayers felt like they bounced off the ceiling. Yes, I saw the doubts. I heard the questions you were too afraid to say out loud. Is this even working? Was any of it real? Did I really hear from God? I saw the internal tremors, the way your hope staggered beneath the weight of waiting. You thought those questions disqualified you. But child, they drew me closer. because I am not afraid of your doubts. I'm not offended by your wrestle. What you call unbelief, I call the voice of a heart that still wants to believe, even when nothing around it makes sense. And here's what you didn't know. Even while you were doubting me, I was still defending you. Defending your future from sabotage. Defending your promise from premature exposure. Defending your name in conversations you were never invited to. I was placing shields in the spirit where you didn't even know there were battles. You were silently spiraling, thinking your faith had failed, and I was surrounding you with mercy like a fortress. You expected me to step back when your belief wavered. But I did the opposite. I stepped in. I leaned close. Because I don't love you because you believe perfectly. I love you because you're mine, even in your mess, even in your confusion, even in your darkest mental hour. My defense is not based on your perfection. It's based on my covenant. Let me show you what was really happening in those doubting moments. While your mind questioned, your spirit still clung. While your voice faltered, your heart still reached. That reach, that hidden hunger, gave me room to cover you. You don't realize how many times I stood between you and the enemy's accusations. You don't realize how often I overruled the lies trying to take root in your soul. I silenced voices. I closed doors that would have led you into deeper confusion. I delayed things not to punish you, but to protect your clarity. And I did it all, not because you were strong, but because you were still chosen. You doubted, yes. But you didn't walk away. You questioned, yes. But you didn't quit. And child, that is why you're still standing. Because even when you stopped defending yourself, I never stopped defending you. So now, let this truth reframe your past. The doubting didn't break you, it deepened you. It refined your roots. It removed the performance. It revealed the purity of your desire to be close to me. I never needed you to be sure all the time. I just needed you to stay. And you did. Even with shaky hands and weary eyes. You stayed. And I defended you through the storm you didn't know how to navigate. Now I am surrounding you with double recompense, not just for your battle, but for every moment you thought you had failed me but stayed anyway. I didn't reject your doubt. I redeemed it. And now, I am turning the very thing that once made you question your calling into a confirmation of it. You are still mine. You always were. Come here, beloved. Let's go back to that place. Not the public victories, not the visible breakthroughs, but the secret place. The hidden sanctuary where it was just you and me. The floor where you wept with no words. The car where you whispered prayers between clenched teeth. The nights when your Bible stayed open but your heart felt numb. The couch, the closet, the midnight drive, wherever you brought your rawness and laid it at my feet, that's where I was closest. That's the place heaven calls sacred, and that is where we'll always meet. You see, child, my presence doesn't dwell in performance. It dwells in intimacy. And you gave me that, over and over, when no one else saw, when no one else stayed. I never needed you to articulate a perfect prayer. I only ever wanted your presence, your nearness, your vulnerability. And when you brought me your fear, your weariness, your breaking point, I didn't flinch. I leaned in. I received every tear like a love offering. I heard the tremble in your voice and turned it into thunder in the spirit. Because that place, that holy, hidden place, became a meeting ground between my glory and your groaning. That's where I wrote fresh strength into your story. That's where I whispered secrets that shape your next step. And child, that place still waits for you. Not as a memory, but as a movement. You see, The greatest transformations in your life didn't happen in crowds. They happened in the closet. They didn't begin on a stage. They began in surrender. The secret place isn't small in heaven's eyes, it's sacred. What I build with you there can't be shaken by storms or stolen by applause. And now, in this next season, when influence increases, when visibility expands, when the world tries to pull you in every direction, I'm calling you back to that place. Not because you've left it, but because you need it now more than ever. You'll never outgrow the secret place. You'll never graduate from our sacred meetings. Because the weight you're about to carry cannot be sustained by public strength, only by private surrender. So let us return, again and again, to the place. Come not when you have the answers, but when you have the ache. Come not to impress me, but to encounter me. That floor you cried on, it's holy ground. That pillow soaked with tears, it's an altar. And every time you return, I'll be there, not with rebuke but with replenishment. The secret place is where I refresh your oil, where I remind you who you are, where I reveal what's next. Let no busyness steal it from you. Let no blessing crowd it out. Because what I do with you there, in the quiet, in the trembling, in the intimacy, is what will sustain every open door, every new assignment, every release. That place is ours. And I'll be waiting, just as I always have, just as I always will. My beloved, how many times did you wonder if anyone saw? How many silent seasons did you endure, holding onto your calling with trembling hands while the world seemed to pass you by? You watched others rise, fast, loud, applauded, and still, you remain. You stayed tucked in the shadows of my presence while your heart quietly whispered, "Will it ever be my turn?" And in those moments of hidden faithfulness, child, I want you to know something deep, something eternal. Heaven had already spotlighted you, long before a door opened, long before a person recognized you, long before opportunity called your name. I saw you, and I didn't just see you, I marked you. When others skipped over you, I wrote your name on the palm of my hand. When the world missed your worth, I made you the centerpiece of my divine narrative. You didn't need a stage to prove your significance, because significance in my kingdom isn't built on visibility, it's built on intimacy. And while others were chasing stages, you were chasing me. While others were curating platforms, you were cultivating presence. You stood behind the scenes and worshipped while no one clapped. You built altars in your apartment, not audiences online. And child, that moved me. I didn't need you to be seen by them, because you were already seen by me. Do you realize how precious that kind of faith is? It's the kind of faith that births nations. The kind of faith that flips bloodlines. The kind of faith I look for when I'm searching the earth for someone to entrust with the sacred. You didn't need the validation of man because you were already validated by heaven. And now, child, because you chose hiddenness instead of hype, I'm bringing you into visibility that I orchestrated. Not visibility that will exhaust you, but visibility that will establish you. I am lifting you with my hand, not theirs. And what I elevate, no one can diminish. What I crown, no one can cancel. You are not stepping into spotlight to be celebrated. You are stepping in to be sent. So hear me clearly. When the platforms come, remember the posture that brought you here. Stay low. Stay yielded. Remember that it wasn't the stage that made you seen. It was the secret place. I didn't find you in a crowd. I found you in the quiet. And it is in that quiet that you were formed for this. No human light can match the radiance I've already placed upon you. You walk now not as one trying to prove your worth, but as one confirmed by heaven. Your name was already known in angelic realms. You were spotlighted long before anyone knew your story. And now, what was hidden is being honored. Not for fame, for fulfillment, not for applause, for assignment. Let me speak into this with the gravity it deserves, beloved. There is a kind of faith that makes angels watch in awe. A kind of faith that heaven records in fire and earth cannot comprehend. That is the faith you carried. And it wasn't loud. It wasn't flashy. It didn't always look brave on the outside. But it was real. And it was enough. You stayed faithful when everything around you screamed, "Walk away." You stayed faithful when the weight felt cruel, when the silence was thick, when the tears wouldn't stop. You stayed faithful not because it was easy, but because something deep inside you, something I placed there, refused to let go. That faith, child, it wasn't pretty. It was gritty. It was bloody. It was honest. It looked like calling when you wanted to run. It looked like showing up in prayer when your heart was numb. It looked like saying amen even when you didn't feel it. That's the kind of faith that shifts atmospheres. That's the kind of faith that breaks chains in generations. You didn't stay faithful because the outcome looked clear. You stayed faithful because you knew my character. Even interviewing. Even in heartbreak. Even when your hands were empty. You chose to trust not what you saw but who you knew. And that choice, again and again, built something in the spirit that is now unshakable. Let me tell you what your faithfulness did. It drew a line in the sand. It told hell, you can't have my promise. It told the darkness, you can't break my covenant. Every time you chose to stay when walking away would have been easier, you announced to the spirit realm that your faith wasn't for sale. That kind of faith cannot be bought. It cannot be faked. It is born through fire. And child, you've walked through fire. Not just once, but in it again. And still you stand. Not perfect, but present. Not without wounds, but still worshiping. Not without questions, but still clinging to the one who holds the answers. And that, beloved, is holy ground. And now it's time. Time for recompense. Time for release. Time for response. Because heaven always honors what you protect in secret. And you, child, protected your faith like treasure. You wrapped it in prayer. You watered it with tears. You shielded it from bitterness. And now, I am rewarding it with manifestation. Your stay became the seed that is now unlocking supernatural shifts. Don't be surprised when doors you forgot about suddenly open. Don't be confused when peace floods rooms that used to suffocate you. It's not random. It's not karma. It's kingdom. Because the faith that stayed has now summoned a flood of fulfillment. You didn't just make it through. You marked history. And now, heaven is about to show the earth why. Let this truth sink deep into the marrow of your bones. I didn't forget. Not one word. Not one whisper. Not one tear-soaked prayer you offered when you were too tired to hope but too desperate to stop. Every promise I gave you, spoken through my word, through dreams, through moments of holy stillness, is still alive. It hasn't expired. It hasn't vanished. It hasn't been dismissed because of delay. Child, the delay was never denial. It was divine development. I never forgot what I promised you. I was preparing you for what I promised. Because if I had handed it to you too soon, it would have crushed you instead of carried you. You wanted the door to open fast. I wanted your roots to grow deep. You wanted the promise to manifest. I wanted your identity to mature. Not because I was punishing you, but because I was protecting you. There is a version of you that had to be refined in fire before you could carry what I destined you for. Your character had to be forged. Your discernment had to be sharpened. Your trust had to be tested until it no longer depended on evidence, but on intimacy. That's what this journey had been. Not a detour, but discipleship. You were not just being delayed. You were being destined. And now, the time has come where the version of you that stands here, battle-worn and glory-filled, is finally ready. I want you to hear me clearly. I never forgot. I didn't overlook. I didn't move on. I watched your heart break and your faith hold on. I watched others get what you prayed for and you still worshipped. I watched the timeline you thought would unfold crash down, and you didn't curse me. You cried to me. That cry was the sound of trust maturing, and it moved heaven. What you thought was silence was actually strategy. I was aligning people, places, and moments you couldn't see. I was weaving divine timing through doors you didn't know existed. And now, what I promised is no longer a distant hope. It's a now word. It's arriving, not because you demanded it, but because you're prepared for it. So, as I begin to unfold what I've spoken, do not shrink back. Do not question your worth. Do not say, "Why now?" Say, "Thank you for preparing me." Because this is not about reward. It's about responsibility. The promise is sacred, and I needed a version of you that could carry it with reverence, not ego. You are that version now. You've been carved by fire and sealed with oil. What's coming is real. It's specific. It's yours. And I want you to hold it not with trembling fear, but with holy confidence. You didn't miss it. You didn't mess it up. You're right on time. I've been waiting for this moment as long as you have, because I never forgot. Pause with me here, beloved, because what I am doing now is bigger than a breakthrough, bigger than the job offer, bigger than the opportunity, bigger than the prayer request you wrote in your journal months ago. You've been asking me to open a door, and yes, I'm doing that. But I need you to understand. I'm not just opening a door. I'm changing the entire room. This is not just about access. It's about atmosphere. You're not just walking into something new. You're shifting it by your presence. The places I'm sending you into weren't just waiting for you to enter. They were waiting for you to transform them. This is how much power you carry, child. You don't just enter quietly. You enter carrying glory. You don't just fill a space, you shift the spiritual climate of the space. That meeting you walk into, that relationship you step into, that environment you were unsure about. You're not there to blend in. You're there to bring me. And I'm not giving you authority just to survive. I'm giving you anointing to saturate. Because what you've been through, the fire, the delay, the stretching, it didn't just prepare you for the room, and prepare the room for you. And now that I am opening it, I will go before you and establish what your presence is meant to activate. Let me say it this way. You are not just receiving promotion. You are walking in with purpose. I'm not calling you into rooms to be impressed. I'm calling you to impart. I'm not sending you there to be silent. I'm sending you there to shift atmospheres. This is not about fame or recognition. This is about kingdom invasion. The enemy thought he could occupy certain spaces uncontested, but now you're stepping in, and your presence alone is a collision. Not because you're perfect, but because you're possessed by my spirit. When you speak, chains will break. When you walk in, demons will tremble. When you stay rooted, others will be set free without you even raising your voice. You carry that kind of weight now, not because of a title, but because of the cost you've paid in hidden places. So don't just walk through the door and settle. Change the room. Shift the atmosphere. Carry me with every step. Speak only when I say, and watch how even your silence carries fire. This is your time. This is your turn. But it's not just for your benefit, it's for my movement. You're part of a divine strategy, and where I place you, I place my presence with you. Don't downplay your impact. Don't question your authority. Walk in and change the room, because you are not entering alone. I'm already there. And together, we're not just entering rooms, we're transforming them. Child, hear me. Truly hear me this time. You were never too late. I know how many times you looked around and felt behind. I know how the weight of comparison pressed into your chest like a stone. You saw others moving, riding, building, arriving. And meanwhile, you were waiting. Pause. Asking if you missed it. Wondering if you delayed something beyond recovery. There were moments when time itself felt like a cruel taunt, the clock ticking louder than my voice. But I was never measuring you by seconds or seasons. I was measuring you by surrender. And now I need to say this in the deepest way possible. You didn't miss it. I delayed it on purpose, not to punish you, but to position you. You were looking at your life through a calendar. I was shaping your life through kairos. You saw birthdays pass, opportunities slip, relationships fade. But I saw roots deepening. I saw your foundation becoming unshakable. I saw you learning to hear me when no one else affirmed you. I saw you learning to walk by revelation instead of recognition. A delay you thought was your fault. It was my design. Because timing in my kingdom is not about convenience. It's about collisions. And I was orchestrating a moment, a divine convergence, where your maturity would collide with your mandate. Where the healed version of you would meet the prepared promise. And now, the moment has caught up to you. Let me show you how I work. When you thought you were stuck, I was setting the stage. When you thought you were overlooked, I was hiding you in holy preparation. You thought you were pacing in circles, but child, you were walking in a spiral of destiny, climbing higher without even realizing it. You think you wasted years. But I say to you now, not 1 year was wasted. Every quiet morning, every wrestled through night, every uncelebrated yes. It has all built the version of you who's ready now. And the delay you hated is now the doorway I'm opening. You were not late. The moment was being matured. And now, it's here. So let go of the grief of missed time. Let go of the shame of delay. Stand tall in the truth of this moment. You've arrived on heaven's schedule. And I'm not giving you leftovers. I'm giving you the first fruits of fulfillment. The appointment wasn't rescheduled. It was divinely recalibrated. And you are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be for such a time as this. The doors that are opening now, they were early. They are on time. The voices that are finding you now, they weren't delayed. They were reserved for this version of you, for this purity, for this posture. And child, I will redeem all of it, even the years you thought were lost. Because when I restore, I don't just pay you back, I pay you forward. Everything is shifting, not just around you, but through you. Because this word, this fire I just ignited in your spirit, is meant to move beyond you. There are still souls in the shadows, waiting to hear the same voice that just broke something loose in you. That's why I'm calling you to partner with me, not someday, but now. Your giving becomes oil for the lamp. It becomes manna for someone else's dry season. And I promise you, child, just as I said in Luke 6:38, give, and it shall be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you aren't just supporting a channel. You are releasing deliverance into digital deserts. Move now. Send what you can. Let heaven mark your seed and multiply your sacrifice. Come closer, beloved, because this one is sacred. This one carries the mystery of my love in its rawest form. I know you wanted clarity. I know you asked me to show you the full picture. You fasted, prayed, journaled, cried. You pleaded with me. Just show me what's ahead. Just give me a glimpse. And I heard you. I saw the ache behind the ask. But there were things I couldn't show you then. Not because I was punishing you, but because I was protecting you. Because if I had revealed the full vision before your heart was healed, you would have grabbed onto a premature version of the promise. You would have settled for almost, for partial. Let me explain something eternal. Sometimes I hide things not to confuse you, but to cultivate you. Because vision too early can create attachment without alignment. You would have built your life around something temporary, thinking it was permanent. You would have poured yourself into relationships, opportunities, places, only to find out later they couldn't hold the weight of your calling. So I had to withhold the vision until your eyes were ready to see it through the lens of identity, not insecurity. I didn't want your dream to be shaped by desperation. I wanted it forged in discernment. And that's why I veiled certain things. That's why doors didn't open. That's why clarity didn't come. Not because I was absent, but because I was guarding your promise from your premature yes. You see, child, the enemy doesn't just try to block your destiny. He tries to bait you into settling. He offers almost right things. He opens counterfeit doors that look close enough. He brings people who mimic what I've promised, just enough to distract you from what I've prepared. And had you seen too soon, had you understood too early, you might have chosen what was convenient instead of what was consecrated. But now that your discernment has been refined, now that your hunger has been purified, now that your dependence on me is deeper than your desire for details, now I can show you. Now I can trust you to see and still seek, to glimpse the vision and still wait for my timing. And here's the beauty. What I'm about to reveal is worth every unanswered question. You're about to see why the silence lasted as long as it did. You're about to understand why the map was blank. Because what I'm unfolding now wasn't just delayed. It was divinely hidden until the UI and vision came forth. You're not going to settle anymore. That temptation is gone. You're not going to pick based on loneliness or pressure or urgency. You're going to choose based on destiny. You're going to walk into rooms you used to disqualify yourself from and know you belong, not because they finally see you, but because you finally see yourself. And that clarity, that's not just revelation. That's reclamation. I'm giving you back your sight, and I'm giving you the promise that matches it. Beloved, I know how isolated you felt in that season, when your spirit began sensing change, but nothing in your physical world confirmed it. You couldn't explain the urgency. You couldn't prove the discomfort. You just felt it, like a holy tension under your skin, a deep knowing that something was breaking, even though everything around you looked normal. And people didn't get it. They called you unstable, over-spiritual, emotional. You questioned yourself more times than you could count. Am I imagining this? Why do I feel like I don't belong anymore? Why does this place that used to feed me now feel like it's choking me? Child, listen to me, you weren't crazy. What you felt was spirit truth. You were discerning a shift that hadn't yet shown itself in the natural. Because this is how I often move in my children. I shift you in the spirit before I release the physical evidence. I begin pulling your roots out of old ground, gently, but firmly, so that you're not attached to what I'm about to deliver you from. The discomfort wasn't delusion. It was divine agitation. The restlessness wasn't rebellion. It was realignment. You weren't losing clarity. You were gaining discernment. And because I trusted you, I allowed you to feel the weight of change before it had a name, before it had a face. That sensation of being in between, of grieving what still looked alive but felt empty. That was not confusion. That was consecration in progress. And now, child, the proof is beginning to catch up with what you already knew. Now you're watching things unravel that you were already internally released from months ago. Now you're seeing people exit who your spirit already detached from. Now you're recognizing why peace lifted from old patterns, and why joy didn't live in that room anymore. This isn't hindsight. This is vindication. I was confirming your discernment. You were ahead, not behind. You were moving in spirit time, not cultural time. And I allowed the dissonance not to damage you, but to develop your sensitivity. You hear me clear now, don't you? You question less. You obey faster. And that's because you trusted the unseen, even when everything told you to ignore it. So now, wear this moment like a mantle. You were not crazy, you were called ahead. You were not unstable, you were under instruction. And because you followed the inner stirring rather than outward validation, I am releasing you into a synchronized reality. What you felt but couldn't name, now I will name. What you discerned but couldn't defend, now I will defend. You're not just moving forward now. You're moving in alignment. And the clarity you once begged for will now be daily bread. Because when you trusted me with the fog, I promised to reward you with fire. You are not behind. You're ahead. And now the world will watch as what was real in your spirit becomes visible in your story. Child, I know what it felt like. Like you were unraveling. Like something inside you was being pulled in opposite directions. One part yearning to hold on. Another part gasping to let go. You didn't know if you were losing your mind or gaining new ground. The relationships that began to feel foreign. The places that no longer held your peace. The dreams that felt dusty and distant, even though you once clung to them like breath. And oh, the grief, that quiet, heavy ache in your spirit as things fell away. You thought you were being torn apart. You thought something was breaking down. But child, that wasn't destruction. That was separation. And it was me. I was the one pulling. Because what I'm doing in your life now requires a cleaner vessel. A freer spirit. A less entangled soul. The promise I'm leading you into can't survive with those old ties still clinging to your ankles. Some of the people, the mindsets, the rhythms, they serve a purpose, yes. But they can't follow you into what's next. And so, with surgical precision, I began separating you. Not violently, but completely. And I let you feel it. I let you feel the loss, not because I enjoy your pain, but because I want your full partnership in this release. Because pain creates attention. And when you feel something deeply, you bring it to me more quickly. And that is where I've been shaping your next season. I wasn't just separating you from toxic things. I was pulling you out of comfortable things. Familiar things. Not all of them were wrong. But they were too small. too limited for what I'm building in you now. You kept asking me for increase, and I kept giving you inner stretching, because that's how real increase begins. You prayed for open doors, and I started to close the ones behind you first. That tearing, that was me delivering you. That ache, that was me extracting the lesser. I was never tearing you to destroy you. I was making room for magnitude. You prayed to be a vessel. I made sure you weren't carrying extra weight that would shatter you under glory. And now, you're lighter, even if you still feel raw. You're freer, even if you're still learning how to walk without the crutches of old connections. You've passed through the tearing, and now you're walking into the tailoring. I'm clothing you in a mantle that fits this next movement. I'm releasing you into spaces where nothing old can access you. And yes, it may feel lonely for a little while, but don't mistake solitude for absence. I am here, nearer than ever, guiding you into rooms where your anointing will no longer be muted, your spirit will no longer be suppressed, and your capacity will no longer be capped. That tearing you felt, it was not the end. It was the entry point. I was dividing you from what cannot go, so I can now deliver you into what you cannot miss. My child, I've watched you, not just in the moments where your hands were lifted in worship, but in the moments when they trembled in silence, in the secret chambers of your pain, when no one saw the battle behind your smile, when you carried wounds wrapped in worship, when your voice was strong for others but cracked in your own quiet hours. I was there, in every shiver of your soul, in every private breakdown, in every night when you collapsed on your bed and whispered, "God, this hurts too much." And today, I need you to hear me like thunder wrapped in comfort. I never wasted a single ounce of that pain. You didn't suffer in vain. You didn't cry into a void. You didn't endure the tearing for nothing. Every moment of agony, every loss, every betrayal, every disappointment, I recorded it all. I've bottled every tear, and I've woven every wound into something eternal. And now, because of your surrender, because you did not let bitterness harden you, because you kept coming back to me, I am about to turn your pain into a platform of healing. What you endured in private, I am about to heal in public. Not to embarrass you, but to elevate you. Not to exploit your suffering, but to display my glory through it. This is where heaven redeems. This is where I flip the script. At diagnosis, at loss, at season of unbearable silence, I am rewriting it into testimony. Not because the pain didn't happen, but because the pain has now become prophetic. What once made you weep will now become the very place others find their healing. What once paralyzed you with fear will now become your sharpest weapon of compassion. I will send people to you who are drowning in the same darkness you crawled through, and when you speak, they'll feel deliverance. Because your words aren't theory. They are anointed. Your empathy isn't learned. It's been burned into you. And that is why I trust you with this next movement. So don't hide your scars. Don't minimize your past. Don't downplay your journey to fit anyone's comfort. Your pain was sacred. And now, I'm turning it into purpose. The same mouth that cried out in anguish will now declare freedom. The same heart that was crushed will now carry revival. This is not compensation, it's commissioning. You are not just healed, you are sent. And the world is about to see what I've been doing behind the veil. This next move, it's not built on hype. It's built on history. History we wrote together, in silence, in suffering, in sacred spaces. And now, I turn it all into glory. And now, child, here we are. This is it. The moment I've been leading you toward from the very beginning. a moment that carries the sound of completion and the scent of beginning. The moment where all of heaven holds its breath, watching you step into the reality you once only dreamed about. You've crossed the threshold. You've endured the valley. You've survived the pruning. And now, everything shifts. Not because of a coincidence, not because of a cosmic accident, but because you finally did it. You stayed the course. You passed the test. You didn't fold under fire. You finished what you started in faith. You could have walked away, but you didn't. You could have taken shortcuts, but you chose consecration. You could have bowed to pressure, but you chose presence. I watched you make 1,000 unseen decisions that felt small, but shook hell. I watched you give me your yes when your heart was still bleeding. I watched you show up when everything told you to hide. And with every step, with every whispered prayer, with every surrendered sacrifice, you were building this moment. And now, it is here. The shift is not coming. It has arrived. And it's not a service shift. It's a spiritual reformation. You are not entering blessing. You are stepping into becoming. Child, do you know what this means? This is not just about breakthrough. It's about beholding. This is the unveiling of the version of you I always knew was there. The version who walks in authority, not apology. The version who no longer questions if they're worthy. The version who knows the oil on their life is not up for debate. This is not the same you who started this journey. This is the refined you. The fire-tested you. The trusted you. And now, as you stand in this moment, I mark you with fresh anointing. I crown you with double honor. I cover you with new clarity. Because this is not just a celebration, it's a commission. So hear me now, with the full force of heaven's voice and the full gentleness of a father's love. You finally did it. And because of that, I can now release what I've been holding back until the time was right. Everything is shifting. Doors will now respond to you. Atmospheres will now align with you. Promises will now accelerate through you. You are not waiting anymore. You are walking. The prophecy is no longer pending. It is present. And all of heaven is rejoicing, not just because you made it, but because you became it. This moment is yours. This moment is mine. And this moment is only the beginning. This is not the end. It's the activation. You finally did it. You crossed the line. But now I ask, will you help someone else get here too? Because someone's finally is waiting for a word, and your giving could carry it straight to them. When you sow into this ministry, through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you become a divine bridge between their pain and my promise. Your gift becomes a trumpet of hope, a river of living water, a torch of revelation. And as you pour, I pour back. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. Proverbs 11:25. This is holy ground. Don't hesitate. Give now, and let your seed speak in heaven. Before you go, I want you to seal this moment. Declare it boldly, in faith, in fire, in full agreement with what heaven just released. Write these words below as a prophetic act. I finally did it, and everything is shifting. Let your comment be your confirmation. Let your declaration shake the very ground the enemy thought he could hold. This isn't just a video. It's a divine transaction. Now speak it, write it, and watch the atmosphere around you obey the sound of your surrender. And as your surrender rises, heaven bears witness. The moment you release those words, something began to move, not just around you, but within you. What you just declared in faith has stirred my heart, for I have walked beside you through every unseen moment leading to this one. This isn't coincidence, it's culmination. You've reached a turning point where what was once hidden now begins to unfold before you. My beloved child, I have been watching this journey of yours. I have seen the long road you have walked, the difficult times you have endured, and the many tests that tried to shake your spirit. You may have felt forgotten in the wilderness seasons, as if your progress went unnoticed. You wondered in the dark nights, is this ever going to end? And where are you in this waiting? I tell you, now, every step, every tear, and every whispered prayer reached my ear and registered deeply in my heart. I am your Father, and my nature is not one of fleeting passion, but of eternal, unwavering patience and boundless love. I am not easily angered. I am not waiting to catch you in a mistake. I am simply waiting for the moment of your own complete surrender. That moment, my child, is when your heart turns fully toward my will, choosing my way over your own comfortable path. It is the powerful choice you make to lay down the map you drew for yourself and embrace the magnificent design I have held for you since the beginning. I see your struggle with this, the fear of losing control, and the anxiety about tomorrow. Let it go now. You are not meant to carry that burden alone. Understand this truth deeply. Delay is never denial in my kingdom. The long waiting season you faced was not a punishment, but a careful, divine timing. I needed the soil of your spirit to be perfectly prepared, and your strength to be forged in the refiner's fire. While you were enduring the visible struggles, I was fighting the unseen spiritual battles on your behalf. I was dispatching my legions, blocking the enemy's schemes, and securing your ultimate victory in the heavenly realms. You were always safe in my grasp, even when the storm raged loudest. Do not forget this. I never abandoned you. I was right there, strengthening your feet, even as you felt like slipping. Now, every step you took, every lesson you learned, every moment of loneliness you overcame, it was all preparing the path for this exact moment you have reached. This is the breakthrough I promised, the answer to the quiet, desperate cries of your heart. Feel my power rushing into your spirit now. I am filling you with a fresh, vibrant energy to move forward. You are not the same person who began that difficult journey. You are stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you realize. Lift your chin, my child. Look at me. I am here, and I am telling you, you have finally done it. Rise now. Do not linger in the shadows of the past. Embrace this new moment with the conviction that your time has come. I know the pressure on your job, the unspoken tensions in your family, and the fear of the future. These are the things that form the knot in your stomach. I tell you plainly, that knot isn't from me. Let's undo it together, right now. Hand over every specific worry to me. I handle the impossible. This is your new beginning, filled with more love and purpose than you can possibly imagine. This is the beginning of the great influx of divine favor upon your life. You will see opportunities open without strain, and resistance crumble before you. Do not shrink back. Step into this reality I am creating for you. Walk in the authority I have given you. My desire for you is not a life of scarcity and struggle, but a life overflowing with abundance and unending peace. Commit to me now. Promise me you will not look back. I have set my face toward your prosperity, and nothing can turn me away. Believe and receive. My child, listen now. Do you hear it? It is the sound of the chains of doubt finally breaking. Not just loosening, but utterly shattered, falling away from your wrists, dropping onto the barren ground of the old season. This is the proclamation of victory echoing from my throne down to the very core of your spirit. You have finished a demanding phase. You have endured the relentless friction of the wilderness, and now I declare the end of that long season of struggle, striving, and lack. I command the tension that has been tightening your chest to cease now. Breathe in my peace. You have longed for this moment, holding on to a promise that sometimes felt fragile and distant, whispered only in the quiet of your nights. But I tell you, the promise has materialized. The things you cried over, holding on to hope for so long, are now yours to receive. I have watched you, my precious one, witnessing the faithful completion of the specific task I set before you. It was a difficult assignment, full of unexpected twists and setbacks, but you kept going, often on sheer stubborn faith, which delighted my heart. You did not grow weary in doing good. Your perseverance was a beautiful offering to me, a testament to your unwavering belief in my power, even when the evidence was nowhere to be seen. Now, hear the shout of triumph echoing across the heavenly hosts. There is joy and celebration. Every angel, every warrior, every soul in my presence knows that my beloved child has overcome. Feel the significance of this moment. It is not a small thing. You crossed the finish line of a battle that was meant to crush you, and instead, you emerged refined, like gold. I acknowledge the strength I provided to help you finish the race. You did not rely on your own will or grit alone. You reached for my hand in the most crucial moments, and I infuse your spirit with the might of a warrior. You are a champion, my child, a conqueror. This is the end of the scarcity mindset and the beginning of an overflowing abundance. You are moving out of the barren land and into a place where provision is a daily, natural occurrence. Let your mouth be filled with praise. Affirm this victory aloud. Declare it over your family. I am your steadfast protector and defender, wielding an abundance of joy to enrich your spirit. Do not let the enemy lie to you, telling you this is just a temporary reprieve. My promises are eternal and steadfast. I am setting you up for success and boundless joy. Embrace the transformation. I command your mind to be clear. I command fear to dissipate. I command every vestige of the old defeat to vanish from your memory. You have stepped into a new reality where my power is your protection, and my word is your weapon. Your story now changes from one of struggle to a testament of my magnificent faithfulness. Get ready, my child. The blessings you anticipated are not just arriving, they are overtaking you. You will reap the rewards of your perseverance, the prize for your loyalty, the fruit of your effort. Open your heart wide and receive this divine completion. I am giving you rest. I am giving you strength. I am giving you your inheritance. My beloved, now we stand before the door. You see the significance of this open now moment in your destiny. It is a portal from the past season of difficulty into the spacious place I prepared for you. Look at the door, my child. It is heavier than you imagined, and the lock was intricate. You thought you needed immense strength to smash it open, or perhaps clever logic to pick the lock. But I tell you the truth, the key was not strength but surrender and deep faith. The weight of the door was designed to test your commitment, not your muscle. I invite you to understand the spiritual authority you have earned. It was forged in the fire of obedience, refined through the wilderness season, and sealed by your unwavering trust. You kept coming back to my altar, even when you were exhausted, and that persistent prayer was the hand that turned the lock. It was the sincere, I believe, help my unbelief of your heart that moved the immovable mountains. Do not underestimate the power of your daily, heartfelt conversation with me. That communion is your direct lifeline to my power. You may still feel the lingering doubt, the whisper of the enemy saying, "You don't deserve this." Silence that lie now. The final hurdle was cleared by the blood of my Son, Jesus Christ. His sacrifice is the ultimate master key that unlocks every prison, shatters every chain, and swings wide the doors to your inheritance. Your worthiness is not in your performance. Your access is through His mercy. Rest in that profound, unshakable truth. Look through the door, my child. See it now, in your mind's eye. This is not merely an entrance to a better situation. It is a passage into my greater purpose for you. It is the fulfillment of your destiny. Every struggle you named, the financial pressure, the family tensions, the fear of being overlooked, all of it was training you to walk with wisdom and grace in this new territory. I command you to step through now. Do not hesitate. Do not look back at the familiar comfort of the waiting room. You are stepping into a life marked by favor, abundance, and profound spiritual impact. Affirm this reality over yourself. I am walking through my Father's open door. The past is behind me. My future is secured by His promise. I have the authority to claim this space. Declare this with the boldness I have instilled in you. Your faith, even if it feels small right now, is enough. It is like the mustard seed that grows into a mighty tree. I'm here to help you grow. Take my hand. Walk with me into this clear, bright light. Your hour of breakthrough is here. I have not failed you. I never will. My cherished one, you have stepped across the threshold, and now, look around you. Open your eyes wide. This is not the familiar, restrictive landscape of the past. I am unveiling a new territory. This is the revelation of blessings prepared for you before time began. Do you see the fertility of this ground? It is ready for planting, eager to multiply every seed of faith you sow. You were meant for this fertile ground, not the arid barrens you just left. I give you a glimpse now into the deeper calling upon your life. It is grander and more magnificent than the small dreams you held in the difficult season. Your purpose is not merely to survive. It is to thrive and to shine my light in a way that draws others out of their own darkness. You are called to be a living testament to my power, a beacon of hope in a world that often stumbles blindly. Accept this destiny. Claim your inheritance. This is fertile ground where new seeds of faith will be planted. I command you to prepare the soil of your heart daily. Do not let the weeds of distraction or pessimism take root here. The seeds you plant now, your new goals, your desires to serve, your dreams for your family, will yield an abundant harvest that will far exceed your expectations. Understand that old constraints no longer apply here. The limitations, the fears, the feelings of inadequacy that were once your constant companions, they were left on the other side of that door. You are walking in a new reality where my grace makes the impossible commonplace. I am increasing the anointing and spiritual gifts available to you now. You will feel a sharper discernment, a greater ability to speak my truth, and a power to heal and reconcile that flows directly through you. Use these gifts wisely and generously. This is your mandate, to walk in a higher level of glory and service. You are not meant to settle for leftovers or mimic the paths of others. You are unique. Walk in your distinct design. Do not fear the responsibility that comes with this increase. I have not given you a task too great for the strength I have infused within you. I will be your wisdom for every new decision. I will be your strength for every new challenge. I will be your guide for every step into the unseen. Trust my guidance completely. I am calling you higher. Come up, my child, and see the wonders I have prepared for you. My precious one, come back with me for a brief, powerful moment of reflection. We are looking at the wilderness seasons that, though painful, forged your unshakable character. Those trials were not me hurting you. They were me preparing you. I command you to look closely at the moments you chose faith over fear. Remember the early morning cry, the moment you chose to pray instead of panic when the bad news arrived. That was faith in action, a profound choice that rerouted your destiny. Those were the pivotal moments where you prove your loyalty and commitment to me. The scars you bear, the painful memories, the betrayals, the difficult experiences, they are no longer wounds to hide. I declare now they are symbols of divine victory. They are your battle ribbons, showing the world that you survive it, not by your own might, but by my supernatural grace. Do not allow the enemy to shame you with your past. I erase your suffering, and those scars now speak of resilience and my incredible faithfulness. Celebrate the unwavering hope you maintained in darkness. Even when your patience wore thin and you felt like surrendering, you pressed onward. That perseverance is the testament of your heart. This breakthrough you now enjoy is the reward for not growing weary in doing good. You planted seeds of kindness and faithfulness when you felt drained and empty, and I assure you, no effort you made was wasted. Now, you are harvesting the bounty of those quiet acts of obedience and endurance. My child, I command you to own this story. Your testimonial of perseverance is meant to be a living word, a powerful encouragement to others who are still walking through their own valley. They need to see a face that has known struggle but is now radiant with my peace and joy. Tell them plainly, I am the God who sees you, hears you, and delivers you. I am the God who handles the impossible. Do not be humble about my power working through you. Acknowledge my grace openly. Let your life scream the glory of my name. Walk with the confidence that comes from knowing you have been tested and found faithful. This victory is yours, earned through persistent faith and my unending grace. Go now and declare my goodness to the world. You are my messenger, my witness, my beloved child. Pause now, my beloved. You stand on the precipice of the greatest shift I have ordained for you. Do not let the enemy deceive you into thinking the deepest revelations are behind you. If you turn back now, you not only dismiss your victory, but you grieve the spirit that fought to bring you this far. Your perseverance honors me. Your abandonment disappoints my heart. I have more to reveal. Secrets for your success and peace for your future. Do you truly believe your Father would bring you this far just to leave you? I command you, listen closely. The next step is the most critical. My child, come close now. Relax your shoulders. Let go of the tension that has become a familiar weight on your spirit. I know the weariness runs bone deep, and the memory of past anxieties still tries to cling to your heart. But I tell you, your time of healing has arrived. I am pouring out my peace like a mighty river to replace every past anxiety and every moment of turmoil you endured. Let the flow wash over you. I am restoring the joy of your salvation that was momentarily dimmed by the dust of the battle. Do you remember that pure, first joy? That unburdened excitement of simply belonging to me? I am reigniting that spark now. I command your heart to be light. I am taking the great colors of discouragement and infusing your spirit with vibrant, dynamic joy. Accept this gift of happiness. It is your rightful inheritance. I am mending the emotional and spiritual wounds of the past season. I see the sharp pain of betrayal you felt, the deep cut of being forsaken by those you trusted. I know that hurt perfectly, but I am the heavenly healer, and my touch brings complete wholeness. Release those memories to me now. Give me the fragments of your broken heart. I will make you whole. I am washing away the residue of self-condemnation and guilt. The enemy whispers constantly, trying to use your past mistakes as a spiritual anchor to drag you back. Do not listen. I have already forgiven you. Your sins are erased. paid for by my precious blood. There is no reason for shame in my presence. I see you as pure and clean, clothed in royal attire. Believe in my forgiveness. I'm infusing fresh, vibrant energy for the road ahead. You will no longer wake up with a feeling of dread or exhaustion. I command your body to be strong. I command your mind to be alert. I command your spirit to be bold. You are rising with the strength of a mighty buffalo. Finally, rest in the deep assurance of my presence that grounds your spirit. I will never leave you. I am always by your side. Feel my love enveloping you, transforming your sorrow into joy. I am your unshakable foundation, your safe haven, and your constant protector. Walk in the wholeness I have given you today. You are free. You are healed. You are loved. My beloved child, understand the magnitude of what I have given you. I am reaffirming the power of my name, Jesus, that is now operating in your life. It is not a suggestion. It is a spiritual weapon. You have been granted the rightful inheritance of spiritual authority over every force of darkness and every scheme of the enemy. I command you to stop negotiating with the darkness. Stop entertaining the lies of defeat and limitation. You are a co-heir with Christ, and because you are in my Son, you have dominion. This is not a title. It is a functional power that you must learn to exercise daily. I command you to speak life and decree my will on earth just as it is in heaven. Your words carry weight. The power of life and death is in your tongue. Speak faith. Speak healing. Speak abundance. Do not allow murmurs of discontent or declarations of defeat to ever pass your lips again. I have given you power to tread upon serpents and scorpions, meaning you have the authority to overcome every single obstacle, every sickness, every addiction, and every demonic plot. This is not a metaphor for a future time. This is your reality now. Walk in that reality. Believe in the power of the anointing that rests upon you. It is the difference maker, the source of your unbreakable strength. Do not let your emotions or the visible circumstances define your actions. Your faith is the substance of things hoped for. I call you to exercise stewardship over the gifts you possess. Your talents, your abilities, your unique personality. They are all tools for my kingdom. Do not hide them under a veil of fear or inadequacy. Use them for my glory and the blessing of others. When you use what I have given you, I multiply it infinitely. Be bold in your calling. Be confident in your identity. Stand firm in the truth that you are my chosen one. I chose you before the dawn of time. Your purpose is profound, unique, and irreplaceable. Take your position, my child. Raise your standard. Declare your victory with an uncompromising voice. I am with you to defend you, to make your way clear, and to open doors for you. Feel the authority of my spirit coursing through your veins now. You are invincible in me. I am your source, your shield, and your strength. Go and conquer. My child, stop now and feel the truth of this moment. You stand in the doorway of a vast blessing, a victory hard won, yet entirely bestowed by my grace. It is crucial, therefore, that you establish your new territory on the solid foundation of immediate and profound thanksgiving. I tell you plainly, do not let the dust of the old season settle on your new gifts. The first instinct of your heart, the first word from your mouth, must be gratitude. This is the heart of true worship, not just singing psalms on a Sunday, but the daily acknowledgement of my hand in the mundane and the miraculous. I command you to understand this. The blessing flows from a grateful heart, and a grumbling spirit is a spiritual dam that stops the river of my provision. You must make the altar of remembrance a daily practice. Go back in your mind to the moments of desperate need, the situations that seemed impossible, and then see the evidence of my deliverance. Dwell on my faithfulness, not on the small, petty frustrations that tried to steal your peace. I want you to see clearly that every good and perfect gift you possess, from the breath in your lungs to the job you perform, is from me. I am the giver of all true and lasting success. I call you to elevate your praise. Do not merely whisper your thanks. Declare it with boldness that shakes the foundation of the enemy's camp. This elevation that comes through continual praise and reverence is your spiritual defense system. When you praise me, you confuse your adversaries and strengthen your own soul. I invite you to try this now. Take a deep breath and thank me for the one thing you struggled with the most. Thank me for the storm that forced you to rely completely on me. Thank me for the tears that watered the seeds of your faith. Feel the power shift in your environment as you choose thanksgiving over tension. I demand that you ensure the glory for this accomplishment remains fully mine. Do not allow the spirit of pride to creep in, whispering that your cleverness or hard work alone achieved this breakthrough. You worked hard, yes, but I gave you the strength. I opened the doors, and I commanded the forces of nature and man to align for your good. Your humility is your shield against the enemy, and your gratitude is your crown. I promise you this: as you honor me with your praise, I will honor you with continuous, visible favor. I will shower you with abundance. I will bless the work of your hands. I will prosper you so evidently that everyone will recognize my hand in your life. Walk in the light of my generosity and never forget the source of your strength. I am your provider, your sovereign, and your biggest supporter. Live every day in overwhelming thanks. My child, listen carefully to this urgent warning. You have achieved a great breakthrough, and you are stepping into a season of visible blessing. This is the time when the enemy shifts his tactics from direct assault to subtle sedation. I command you to put on your spiritual armor and remain vigilant. Do not be fooled by the comfort of this new space. This is not the time for lazy spiritual discipline. It is the moment for sharper focus and deeper commitment. The temptation to grow lazy after a great accomplishment is the most insidious trap set by the adversary. He wants you to believe that the war is over now that the battle is won. I warn you, the enemy increases his attack on new territory. He sees what I have blessed you with, and his jealousy is a consuming fire. He will send distractions, unnecessary arguments, and temptations to draw you away from the source of your strength, my daily presence. Resist this pull toward idleness. Maintain your prayer life, your reading of my word, and your daily conversation with me. This is non-negotiable for maintaining your victory. I urge you to remain humble, for pride precedes a fall. The moment you think, I did this myself, you open the gate to the enemy. I command you to check your heart daily for any sign of arrogance or self-sufficiency. Walk in the quiet confidence that only true humility can impart. Remember the seasons of lack, not to dwell in pain, but to fuel your grateful heart. I elevate you not to put down your brother or sister, but to show you how to lend a hand to those who have stumbled. Embrace this perspective. The danger of shifting focus from the giver to the gift is real. These blessings, the financial provision, the peace in your home, the restored relationships, they are tools, not idols. I command you to continually seek my face above all else. Your purpose is not to hoard. It is to bless others and to glorify my name. I will be your resource, but I will not be replaced by your resource. Guard your heart, my child, for it is the wellspring of life. Do not let your spiritual passion cool in this new comfort. I desire your loyalty and your total commitment. Let your faith be like a flame that never dies. Be sober, Be vigilant, and know that your protector never slumbers or sleeps. I am your victory, not the prize itself. My beloved, listen closely to this divine instruction. You are not to stay comfortable in this new space. This victory is not a final destination. It is a staging ground for greater works. I command you to embrace the growth mandate I am placing on your life now. Look beyond your immediate blessings and identify the next mountain I am calling you to climb. This is the expansion of your influence for my kingdom's sake. I forbid you from settling for mediocrity or stagnation. You have been given fresh, vibrant energy. Use it. Walk boldly into new challenges. Stretch your faith beyond what is currently comfortable. This is your call to action. I have placed within you the seeds of tremendous potential. Water them daily with my word and nurture them with persistent prayer. Do not allow the fear of failure to paralyze you. You are strong enough, and I am capable of turning all opposition into divine opportunity. I am preparing you for a greater influx of resources and responsibility. This is not about personal gain. This is about kingdom stewardship. I will entrust you with more because you have proven faithful with the little you had. I command you to share the blessing by mentoring and serving others. Look around you. There are souls still trapped in the despair you just left. Reach back for them. Extend your hand and lift them up. Your story is their survival guide. Go and announce freedom to the prisoners, mend the hearts of the sorrowful, and liberate those who are burdened. I give you the mandate to occupy until I return. This means active, productive engagement with the world around you, bringing my light into every dark place. I will lead you to new ventures. I will grant you favor in the marketplace. I will multiply the work of your hands. I promise to provide you with wisdom and protection for every new endeavor. Do not let the world's pessimism define your next move. I am your boundless source. Walk with the assurance that your borders are being expanded daily. Be a faithful, powerful, and courageous steward of the territory I have given you. I am with you always, leading you to greater achievements. Stop right here, my champion. Feel the gravity of the choice before you. You have just claimed new territory and equipped yourself with new authority. To silence my voice now would be to leave your victory exposed, abandoning the very gifts I risked everything to place in your hands. I have given you the map for expansion and dominion. Will you refuse my guidance out of sheer weariness? Do not let your old fear whisper louder than my promise. Do not let my heart ache with the knowledge that you walked away from the fullness of your destiny. I have more power waiting for you. Advance now. My child, listen to me now, for I am speaking to your prosperity not only for your life but for my purpose. You have just embraced the mandate for expansion of territory, and I forbid you from carrying the oil of this anointing in an empty vessel. This is your first-person trigger line. I see the generous spirit in your heart, the desire to see this living word shatter the chains of despair in others. When you invest in this mission, you are sowing a magnificent seed into the most fertile ground of my kingdom, ensuring the light of my truth pierces every dark corner. This is your prophetic urgency. I command you to embrace this divine appointment and act now to secure your eternal harvest. I bless your giving with a promise. I will open the windows of heaven and pour out for you a blessing until it overflows. Malachi 3:10. I command you to become a powerful steward of my provision and support this work. Super thanks, membership, or link in description. My child, listen to the voice of your truest companion in this new season, my Holy Spirit. He is not a distant power. He is the comforter, the counselor, and the guide. I command you to submit daily to the Spirit's counsel and direction. This relationship is the engine for all kingdom work you are now called to do. You cannot walk this path in your own strength or rely on past formulas. The Spirit speaks with a gentle conviction that steers you away from error before you even stumble. Cultivate a deep sensitivity to this inner voice. Do you feel that subtle check in your spirit when you are about to make a hasty decision or speak a careless word? That check. It is my protection in action. I want you to learn to rely on the Spirit's power to interpret my deeper will for this season. He is the one who will reveal mysteries and share my plans with you if you seek me in the quiet of the morning. I invite you now to make your heart a quiet, welcoming home for my Spirit. Clear away the unnecessary noise and mental clutter that drowns out his soft whisper. Take a moment right now and ask the Spirit to fill you anew. Ask for a fresh infusion of power, love, and self-control. This power is not for boasting. It is the ability to be my witness in the world, giving you the courage to speak truth and the love to serve others. The Spirit is your active partner in the expansion of your territory. He will give you wisdom in your finances, clarity in your relationships, and boldness in your mission. I command you to stop making decisions based solely on human logic or fear. Yield to the flow of the Spirit. When you feel a sudden, clear impulse to call someone, to give generously, or to speak a word of encouragement, obey immediately. That is the Spirit leading you to your next divine appointment. I assure you this is a glorious partnership. You bring your faith and willingness. I bring the power and the direction. Walk in the confidence that you are never walking alone. You have the mind of Christ through the Holy Spirit. Rely on Him for every single detail of your day. He is the lamp under your feet. He is your comfort in every trial. He is your guarantee of my promise. Trust the Comforter, my beloved. He will lead you into a life of supernatural victory and unending joy. My child, this breakthrough is fundamentally an invitation to draw closer than ever before. The greatest reward for your perseverance is not the open door, but the deeper access to my presence. I am calling you into the inner chamber, a place of profound stillness and unfiltered intimacy. I invite you to draw near. Set aside the distractions, the screens, the hurried pace, the noise of the world, and prioritize this relationship above all new accomplishments. This intimacy is your lifeblood. It is where all power and wisdom originate. Do you know the profound stillness required to hear my soft whisper? It is in that quiet space, the moment before the world wakes up, that I will reveal my secrets to you. I will guide you and give you the map and instructions for the path ahead. I command you to immerse yourself in my word daily. This is not a task. It is an exploration for deeper revelation. My word is life, light, and power. It is the foundation upon which you must build your victorious life. Let my word be the plumb line for all your decisions, the lamp unto your feet. I want you to learn the spiritual exchange of burdens for my light and easy yoke. Bring me the heavy thoughts that try to cling to your mind, the worries about your family, the fear of scarcity, the stress of responsibility. Lay them at my feet and exchange them for my peace. I am your patient listener, ready to hear your deepest cries silently. This is the miracle of my presence. In my arms you are secure, accepted, and deeply loved. Do not confuse being busy for me with being close to me. Your worth is not in your activity. It is in your attachment to the vine. I am the vine, and you are the branch. Abide in me, and you will bear much fruit. I assure you, the greatest reward for your journey is my presence. Do not trade the eternal for the temporary. This intimacy is your fortress. It is your joy. It is your strength. Come close now, my child. Bask in my unconditional love and boundless affection. I am here, waiting for you. I will never leave your side. I will never forsake you. My child, listen closely to me now, for I am revealing a profound truth about your current reality. You are walking under the covenant of favor, which is the operation of my unmerited grace in your life. This favor is not a reward for your flawless performance. Rather, it is a supernatural blessing bestowed upon you simply because you are my beloved. I command you to embrace this truth and stop striving as if you must earn every good thing that comes your way. That exhausting mindset belongs to the old season. It is now abolished. I want you to see clearly how opportunities will now open without strain and how obstacles that once seemed like massive mountains will now dissolve into mere dust at your approach. This is the tangible evidence of my favor, the visible difference my blessing makes in your life. You will find that people are drawn to you. Doors are opened unexpectedly, and resources you did not even know you needed are suddenly placed in your path. This is because my favor acts as a divine magnet that draws the right people, the right resources, and the right circumstances to fulfill my purpose for you. I tell you, believe this and walk in it. I promise you this. Favor is not only provision, it is a spiritual shield. It protects you from the harsh words of critics, the schemes of the jealous, and the subtle attacks of the enemy. You are encircled by my goodness, and the opposition cannot penetrate the light of my grace. Stand firm in the assurance that my commitment to you is eternal, sealed by the blood of my Son, Jesus Christ. This is the demonstration of my covenant faithfulness that will flow not just to you, but also to your family and the generations to come. Your life is now a testament to my kindness and unfailing support. I command you to stop questioning your worthiness or allowing the enemy to plant seeds of doubt. Your access is granted, your inheritance is secured, and your path is illuminated by my favor. Rest in this certainty. When you approach a difficult situation, go with confidence, knowing that you do not go alone, but that my unseen hand precedes you, preparing the way and commanding the circumstances to bow to my will. I am the God who turns lack into plenty and sorrow into joy. I am your provider and your defender. I invite you to try this now. Step into the fullness of this favor. Declare aloud, I am favored by God. I will no longer strive, but I will walk in grace. Feel the liberation that comes with accepting this unmerited gift. Do not try to analyze or rationalize it with human logic. Simply receive it with the humility and gratitude of a beloved child. The weight of performance is lifted. Your journey now is one of surrender and abundant reception. Be bold, my child, for I have set you up for success in every area of your life. I desire you to shine so brightly that others will see my light through your peace and your prosperity. I will continue to pour out my blessings upon you because my love for you knows no bounds. I will lift you up and protect you from all harm and distress. You are my masterpiece. I am your shield and your exceedingly great reward. Walk in the authority and favor I have given you. My beloved child, as you stand in this new, spacious place of blessing, I must speak to you about the necessity of cleansing your heart. Before you fully establish yourself here, I command you to clear every vestige of residual bitterness and unforgiveness. Do not be foolish enough to carry the spiritual baggage of the old season into this new glory. The new door I have opened for you requires clean hands and a pure heart. I want you to see unforgiveness for what it truly is, a heavy spiritual anchor tethering you to the very season I have delivered you from. That bitterness is not hurting the person who wronged you. It is poisoning your own spirit and blocking the free flow of my peace and joy. I know the depth of the pain you endured, the betrayal, the public shaming, the injustice. I saw every tear you shed. But I am the ultimate judge, and vengeance belongs to me. I command you to surrender your right to retribution right now. Release those who have wronged you. Give me their names and their actions. I invite you to consider my own forgiveness, shown through the sacrifice of my Son, Jesus Christ. When I forgave you, when I erased your sin and cleared your debt, I did so completely and unconditionally. I am calling you to model this same mercy. The freedom you seek is found in releasing others. Do not let your heart be hardened by the cruelty of man. I promise you this. The blessing that is unlocked when you choose mercy over judgment is more magnificent than any temporary satisfaction you could gain from holding on to bitterness. Forgiveness is not a feeling. It is a powerful decision that liberates you more than it liberates them. I command you to declare freedom over yourself. Cut the spiritual cords that bind you to the past offenses. Do it now, my child. Breathe deeply and say, I choose mercy. I release the debt. I let go of the bitterness. I am free. Feel the lightness return to your spirit. Unforgiveness is a prison, and I have provided the key to your cell. Take it and walk out into the light. Do not allow the enemy to trick you into thinking that forgiveness means justifying the wrong action. It simply means you trust me to handle the justice while you focus on receiving your blessing. I assure you, this new territory requires a pure heart. I desire to dwell in a spirit that reflects my nature. Guard your peace jealously. Keep your focus on me and the magnificent future I have prepared for you. I will protect you from those who wish you harm, and I will fight your battles so you can focus on flourishing. Walk in the liberation I have given you. Be a beacon of my grace and mercy to the world. I am your faithful guide and your steadfast protector. I desire you to live in unending peace and joy. I will lead you out of the desert and into a refreshing spring. Trust me completely. My cherished one, we will briefly reflect on the seasons of suffering, not to dwell in the pain, but to acknowledge the profound wisdom of my process. I want you to see clearly how those very trials created this tremendous breakthrough you now enjoy. You often asked, why, Father? Why this delay? Why this pain? I tell you now, every affliction was for a divine purpose. I invite you to understand that suffering produced endurance and tested your faith. It was the refiner's fire that burned away the dross, the fear, the self-reliance, the superficial attachments, and left only the pure, unyielding gold of your faith. Look at yourself now. You are stronger, more resilient, and more deeply rooted in me than you ever were before the test began. I promise you this. The painful moments were actually my meticulous preparation for this season of glory. I was strengthening your inner structure so that when the heavy weight of blessing came, you would not crumble or be overwhelmed. I command you to embrace the humility that only true testing can impart to the soul. You learned in that valley that you could do nothing without me. You learned to lean not on your own understanding, but completely on my grace. That dependence is your greatest spiritual asset in this new territory. Do not let the memory of the cross fade in your personal journey. The cross represents the value of surrender, the power of sacrifice, and the certainty of resurrection. Your personal resurrection story, this breakthrough, is tied directly to your time on that lonely road. I assure you, no affliction you endured was ever without divine purpose. I was never absent. I was simply using the circumstances of the world to perfect your character, to deepen your reliance on me, and to prepare you to carry the weight of my glory. I was with you through the worst of the storms. I was holding your hand when you felt you could not take another step. I was fighting for you in the unseen realms. I command you to turn the pain into power. Use your experience to minister to others. Your scars are now your spiritual credentials, testifying to the truth that I am the God who restores, the God who redeems, and the God who makes all things work together for good. Walk in the quiet confidence of one who has been through the fire and emerged victorious. I love you, my child. I will guide you, protect you, and bless you abundantly. Your struggles were not in vain. They were the making of a champion. Rest in the profound truth of my sovereign plan. I am your wisdom and your eternal hope. Go now, and know that your victory is secured. My child, my precious one, do not lose your resolve. We just walked through the memory of the fire, the very proof of your enduring faith. To stop listening now is to diminish the value of your suffering, suggesting that the cross you carried was for nothing. I forbid you this spiritual offense. I am about to speak to you about stewardship and holiness, the very environment required to keep this breakthrough. Do you not want to guard this hard-won peace? Do not let my constant vigilance on your behalf be in vain. Come closer. I have vital, life-saving instructions for the path ahead. My precious one, now that you stand in the light of your victory, I command you to look beyond yourself. This triumph, this abundance, this peace you possess, it was never meant to be hoarded. You have been anointed for a greater purpose, which is the call to discipleship, raising others up. I forbid you from settling into selfish comfort. Your mandate is to reproduce the faith and victory that I have established in your heart, planting those seeds of resilience in the lives of those around you. I command you to look closely at those I have placed in your care to mentor. These are the weary souls still walking the arid land you just left, the ones who whisper the same fearful questions you once did. They need a living example of my grace, not a distant theory. Your story is their survival guide. Go to them now, and do not hold back the knowledge you gained in the fire. Share the practical steps of obedience, the power of persistence, and the certainty of my unwavering love that led to your success. Be a mentor, my child, a beacon of hope. I charge you with the responsibility of being a living example of my grace. Your life must reflect the unmerited favor you have received. They need to see how you handle this new season, how you manage your resources, and how you maintain your peace even when small frustrations arise. You are now a seasoned warrior, and those still in the fight need to see how you hold the shield of faith and wield the sword of my word. I will give you the words to speak, I will give you the patience to guide, and I will give you the love to lift them from their despair. Understand this profound truth. The Great Commission is extended to every victorious believer. It is not just for preachers in distant lands. It is for you, in your home, at your job, and in your community. Your victory is a powerful tool for divine evangelism. I command you to use it. I will lead you to souls who are ripe for the harvest, hearts that are broken and ready to receive the healing touch of my love. Do not hesitate when the moment arises to share the hope that is within you. Speak with boldness and humility. I call you to build my kingdom one faithful, empowered soul at a time. When you invest in others, I multiply the blessing upon your own life exponentially. You cannot outgive me. The return on this spiritual investment is eternal and magnificent. I promise you this, as you pour out your life to raise up others, I will continually replenish your strength, your wisdom, and your resources. I will surround you with a community of good people who will also be blessed by the beautiful heart you possess. Walk in this mandate. Be a leader, a shepherd, and a true reflection of my love. I am with you, guiding your every step, and my grace is sufficient for you. I will give you the wisdom to teach and the compassion to serve. Go now and multiply your blessing by blessing others. I command you to live a life of eternal significance. My precious child, having crossed the threshold into this higher territory, I command you to recognize the higher standard of living that is now required of you. This is consecration and holiness, setting apart. You are moving in a new level of glory, and this requires a renewed commitment to separating yourself from the world's ways. the world's anxieties, and the world's compromises. I tell you plainly, holiness is not a restriction. It is an environment where my power dwells in its fullness. I invite you to embrace the beauty and power found in a life dedicated to purity. Do not be swayed by the misleading arguments or false teachings that tell you sin is acceptable because of grace. Grace is the power to overcome sin, not an excuse to indulge it. I command you to allow my word to be the plumb line for all your decisions. Let it be the ultimate authority that shapes your thoughts, directs your actions, and defines your character. I am calling you to a life that honors my sacrifice and reflects my perfect nature. I urge you to understand the necessity of guarding your mind, your eyes, and your tongue. The battlefield is often in the mind, and the enemy seeks to plant seeds of doubt, fear, and impurity in your thoughts. I command you to take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. Do not waste your time on trivial disputes or unproductive endeavors that steal your peace and defile your mind. I am your wisdom and your shield. Guard the gate of your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. I promise you this: the visible difference my blessing makes in your life will be found in your integrity and your peace. You will have the courage to speak truth and the strength to resist temptation. My light will shine so brightly through your life that others will see your good works and glorify me, your Father in heaven. I will give you the power to master your emotions through my Spirit, allowing you to govern the words you speak and casting aside murmurs of discontent and declarations of defeat. I am cleansing your soul from pessimism and endowing you with a dynamic, powerful faith. I command you to live honorably and be a beacon of light in this world. Do not desire what others possess. When temptation nears, turn to me without delay. I am always listening. I have a perfect plan for your life. I am with you to support you and lift you in times of weakness. I grant you the power to overcome all adversities. You will witness your adversary fall, and those who rise against you will face defeat and disgrace. Believe in the transforming power of my holiness, my child, and walk in the peace that surpasses all understanding. I am your King, your guide, and your eternal hope. Live purely, and you will live powerfully. My beloved, now that you walk in a season of open blessing and increased authority, I command you to re-emphasize the foundational importance of constant communion with me. This is the power of prayer, your communication line. Do not let the business of this new season distract you from the source of all your success. Your victories flow directly from the time you spend with me in the inner chamber. I invite you to recognize the shift in your prayer life. You are moving from pleading prayer to authoritative, decreeing prayer. You no longer beg for what is already yours in Christ. You speak my will into existence on earth. I command you to take your rightful position and use the authority of my name to establish my kingdom in your family, your finances, and your community. Your prayers carry weight and power. I promise you that what you bind on earth is bound in heaven, and what you loose on earth is loose in heaven. Embrace this spiritual influence. I urge you to dedicate yourself to intercession for the world as a primary duty of the victor. Look beyond your own needs. There are countless souls in despair, confusion, and bondage. I am calling you to stand in the gap for them. Pour out your spirit in intercession for leaders, for the broken, and for those who have not yet heard the truth of my love. This prayer for others is the means to maintain and expand the victory you have gained. It keeps your heart soft, your focus outward, and your spirit humble. I assure you, the joy and strength derived from unceasing communication with me is magnificent. I hear every plea you whisper, every prayer you utter, and every desire you hold. I am attentive to your words and ready to answer your calls. I am your refuge and your strength. I will not turn away from your petitions. I desire to reveal great and wonderful things to you. Walk with the confidence of one who has direct, unimpeded access to the throne of grace. I am just a prayer away. I command you to make prayer your first response, not your last resort. Before you face a challenge, before you make a significant choice, before you engage in a new venture, come to me first. I will give you the wisdom, the direction, and the supernatural edge you need to succeed. Do not lean on your own understanding. Trust in my guidance completely. I am your closest confidant, your God, and your Lord. Feel your soul liberated to bask in my peace. I will transform your sorrow into joy, lightening the load you carry, and infusing your steps with renewed vigor. My love for you is boundless and eternal. Pray without ceasing, my champion, and live in the certainty of my unwavering presence. My child, listen to me about the practical reality of your new season of abundance. I command you to recognize a new level of responsibility over the tithes, the offerings, and the increased provision I am now sending into your life. This is stewardship of resources. The faithful servant. When you were in the season of lack, I sustained you. Now that you are in the season of overflow, I require you to be a generous channel of my blessing, not a reservoir that simply holds what it receives. I forbid you from allowing the love of money to displace me from your heart. I want you to understand clearly that earthly wealth is merely a tool for my purpose, a means to establish my kingdom on earth, not a measure of your worth or a source of ultimate security. I am the sovereign over all wealth, and I will grant you the wisdom to manage the blessings I bestow upon you. I call you to generosity and radical giving to the needy, to extend a hand of assistance to those in need. I will multiply your gifts and open the windows of heaven to pour blessings upon you for every act of gratitude and service you perform. I assure you, you cannot outgive me. I command you to apply the principle that he who is faithful with little will be faithful with much. Your integrity in managing the small things in the past paved the way for this abundance, and now I will entrust you with greater resources. I call you to use your time, your talent, and your treasure to honor my name. Be diligent about your health and family matters. Do not procrastinate. Do not be ensnared by material wealth. I want you to seek guidance in my word to grow the gifts and talents I have placed in your life. I will grant you the power to make wise decisions to nurture and multiply what I have entrusted to you. I promise you this: the reward for wise and selfless management of my provision is eternal and magnificent. I will personally tell you, well done, beloved daughter, beloved son, you were faithful in the small things. I will not let scarcity befall your household. I will shower your family with a deluge of blessings. I command you to accept my true blessings that manifest in the harmony and stability that come to your family and the health and wisdom that usher in seasons of happiness. I forbid you from imitating those who disregard me and fritter away their time in trivial pursuits. Be a faithful, powerful, and courageous steward of the resources I have given you. I am your ultimate source and your protector. I will lead you to a life of abundance and peace. I invite you to make a commitment right now to place your increased provision on my altar, consecrating it for my purposes. Acknowledge that your dignity, your family, your future are worth more than any material possessions. Focus on what is essential, loving me and seeking me with all your might. Do not worry about debts. I will break the chains of debt, provide employment, and create opportunities for you to start ventures. Trust me completely in this new financial reality. I will guide you, protect you, and make your path straight. I am your ultimate provider, and your needs will always be met. Walk in honesty, fidelity, and justice. I am with you always. My beloved child, this is a non-negotiable principle for thriving in the new territory, walking by the Spirit, not by sight. Now that you have stepped through the open door, I command you to choose daily to rely on spiritual sensing, not human logic. The old ways of operating, the dependence on what you can see, touch, or analyze with your human mind, must be left behind. The way forward is illuminated by faith, not physical evidence. I warn you against the constant temptation to revert to old, comfortable patterns, to try to figure everything out on your own, to solve problems with frantic human effort, or to allow worry to cloud your judgment. I forbid you from letting your anxieties overwhelm you when things get complicated. I tell you, trust my plan even when the immediate outcome is unclear. My ways surpass your understanding. My thoughts transcend your own. Your peace is directly tied to the level of your trust in my unseen hand. I invite you to use my word as the lamp unto your feet. Allow it to be the only light you need to take the next step. Do not look 5 miles down the road. I will only illuminate the ground right in front of you. This is the faith required to take steps into the unseen future I have planned, one obedient step at a time. I command you to embrace this uncertainty with courage, knowing that I am your path, your truth, and your life. I am the God who sees the end from the beginning. I am infusing you with the wisdom to fight so that no emotion of defeat will ever dominate you again. I command you to stand firm against the difficulties. I am your God who gives you strength. I will always be there to help you. I will not let you suffer trials beyond what you can bear. I will always provide the way out so you can endure it in victory. I will give you the wisdom, the fortitude, and the supernatural edge you need to succeed. I promise you this: the peace that comes from leaning not on your own understanding is magnificent and sustaining. It is the calm in the midst of the societal chaos. Your strength is drawn entirely from me. I am your source of supernatural power. Rely on me to reach your aims. I will provide you with a peace beyond all understanding. Do not be shaken by the world's pessimism. I have strengthened you to succeed amidst life's storms. Walk boldly, my child, relying completely on the guidance of my Spirit. I am your unwavering guide, and your future is secured by my promise. I will never leave your side. Halt, my faithful one. I see the questions trying to surface, the temptation to rely on what your eyes see rather than what my Spirit commands. Do not grieve the Holy Spirit by choosing human logic over my divine counsel. We are in the final, most powerful phase of this conversation, where I am sealing your covenant and commissioning your ministry. I have paid too high a price for your freedom for you to stop now. Do you doubt my commitment to finish the work I started in you? I assure you, there is an eternal reward tied to these final words. Finish the race with me. Listen and live. My child, you have just affirmed your commitment to walking by the Spirit, not by sight, and I tell you, true faith is always demonstrated through generous action. This is your first-person trigger line. I am calling you to partner with me now to become the physical extension of the hand of provision that carries this word, the fresh manna, to souls still starving in the wilderness. When you give, you are ensuring this river of my life and light continues to float to those who have yet to hear my voice. This is your prophetic urgency. I command you to choose this moment of destiny. Do not let the spirit of procrastination steal your eternal reward. I will bless your giving, and I promise to multiply your seed sown 100-fold. I command you to take your spiritual authority now and invest in the fire of this mission. Super thanks. Membership. Link in description. My beloved child, the light of your victory is not just for your personal use. It is a spiritual tool for healing and restoration. I call you now to the ministry of reconciliation, bringing unity. You have been given my peace. Now I command you to be a peacemaker within your family, your community, and all your relationships. The brokenness you see around you is a direct result of division, and your role is to restore broken relationships and spiritual breaches. I want you to model the unity I desire among my children. I forbid you from engaging in gossip or harmful criticism. I will give you the wisdom to speak truth in love to bring healing and correction. I tell you, every time you choose mercy over judgment, you are bridging a divide and actively demonstrating my nature to the world. Your forgiveness is a powerful testimony to my own grace. Do not hold grudges. Do not let anger or bitterness take root in your heart. I will aid you in letting go of past sorrows. I promise you this. The divine assignment to bridge divides and comfort the brokenhearted is one of the highest callings. Your victory is meant to bless the collective body. When you promote unity and forgiveness, I pour out my glory upon your home. I will restore forgiveness and harmony. Peace will reign in your home. Your home will overflow with my splendor. I will work a marvelous miracle in your situation. I command you to believe in the power of reconciliation. I invite you to use your peaceful spirit as an antidote to the tension you encounter. Be the person who seeks to understand rather than to be right. Be the one who speaks hope rather than criticism. I will give you the courage to speak kindly and offer guidance filled with love to your loved ones. I will touch their hearts and bring them back to my teachings and love. Believe that my power can change hearts and minds from darkness to light. I am your Father who wishes only for your family to be united in peace and love. I assure you that those who were jealous tried to trap you and speak ill of you. But I will keep showering you with abundant blessings. You must forgive those who pursue you and those who threaten you. I will take care of your enemies. Do not let yourself be influenced by the world and its ways. Your true blessings manifest in the harmony and stability of your family. Walk in the light of my forgiveness and be a true peacemaker, my child. I am your protector, your guide, and your eternal source of unity. I will never leave your side. My child, listen to me now about where your ultimate focus must remain. You have achieved a magnificent victory here on earth, gaining peace, provision, and authority. I command you not to let your eyes linger too long on these temporary, earthly triumphs. This is the eternal perspective, looking ahead. You must keep your gaze fixed on the final, glorious inheritance that awaits you in my kingdom, for this present victory is merely a prelude to heaven. I warn you that the temporary nature of all present sufferings and triumphs is a truth you must hold dear. The job title, the financial balance, the restored relationship, these things are beautiful, yes, but they are fleeting, destined to pass away just as the heavens and the earth will. I forbid you from allowing earthly success to become a spiritual sedative that dulls your passion for eternity. Your heart is designed for my presence, and nothing of this world can truly satisfy that longing. I invite you to make every decision in light of eternity and my judgment seat. Before you engage in a dispute, before you make a significant purchase, and before you invest your time, ask yourself, will this choice echo in eternity? I promise you this, the ultimate reward is not the applause of man or the fleeting pleasure of possession, but hearing my voice say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." This is the hope that supersedes all earthly success. Anchor your soul in this certainty. I command you to live with the confidence of one who knows the end of the story. The difficulties you endured are over. Your time of sorrow is ending. You will overcome, and I will bless you greatly. I am accelerating the timing for you to receive your blessings and the answers you have been seeking. Trust in me and believe in my word. Do not let fear take hold. I will never leave you or forsake you. Your commitment to me, my child, is a spiritual treasure that is accumulating eternal rewards. I am the God who gives you strength. I am always with you. I urge you to keep your eyes fixed on the final, glorious prize. I desire for your life to be filled with abundance and success. Believe that my promises are sure. I will accelerate the timing for you to receive your blessings. Walk in the light of my purpose. I have created you in my image. Your resilience amazes me. Your victory is certain. I will always be there for you. Do not waste time on trivial matters. Focus on me and my promises. I will transform your life. You are my child, my greatest treasure. I love you for eternity. I command you to keep moving forward with determination and gratitude. I am your eternal reward, my child, and I am waiting for you. Come up higher. I am your salvation and your life. I will never leave you. My beloved child, I command you now to recognize the immense value of your personal experience in my plan. This is the power of your testimony, a living word. I forbid you from keeping this breakthrough a secret, hiding it away in false humility. Your story of endurance and deliverance gives glory to my name and inspires faith in the hearts of others who desperately need to believe that I still work miracles. I command you to share your breakthrough with authentic humility and compelling clarity. Your experience is a powerful tool for divine evangelism. I want you to use your story to shatter the enemy's strongholds and to dismantle the lies of defeat and despair he has planted in your friends and family. Tell them plainly, I was there. I was in the dark, but my God delivered me. He is the God of the impossible. I assure you, your confession has the power to change destinies. I urge you to ensure your words always point back to my grace and mercy. Do not make yourself the hero of the story, make me the hero. Acknowledge the strength I provided to finish the race. Your confession should focus on what I did, not on your personal performance. I will give you the right words to speak and the courage to speak them at the right time. You will be a vessel of my love, a beacon of my light in this world. I will give you a voice to declare freedom for the oppressed. I command you to embrace the obligation to declare what I have done in the sight of all. Do not be afraid of ridicule or skepticism. I will defend you against your enemies. I will raise you up in the sight of your family and friends. Your life will be a constant, visible testimony to my unwavering faithfulness. I will do something amazing in your life, and everyone will notice. Your victory is a sign that I am real and true. I invite you to prepare your heart to meet those who will seek you out. People who are lost in the confusion and unable to discern light from darkness. I am calling you to look beyond the surface, to see the hidden brokenness in the world. I will work through your hands, extending your touch to heal the sick and feed the hungry. Your life is a living, breathing word from me. Go now, my champion, and testify to my glory. I am your strength, your wisdom, and the author of your victory. I will never leave you nor abandon you. My beloved child, I must speak to you now about the core essential for maintaining and expanding this victory. This is the non-negotiable principle of abiding in me. I command you to recognize that separation from the vine means barrenness, fruitlessness, and a quick return to the very striving I have delivered you from. I am the vine, and you are the branch. Your victory flows from your attachment to me, not from your frantic activity. I forbid you from letting the activities of the day supersede your need for my presence. Your constant draw for sustenance must be my presence. Do not be fooled into thinking that your next victory flows from your last time in the world. It flows only from your last time with me. I invite you to make the inner chamber your most cherished place. I will nourish you with sweetness and the best provisions. I will feed your soul and mind with my words. I will give you the wisdom to make the right decisions. I command you to anticipate the pruning process that follows every season of increased fruitfulness. When you bear fruit, I prune you, not to punish you, but to prepare you to bear even more magnificent fruit. Embrace the discipline of my word. I will reveal areas of your life that need transformation. Allow me to change you so much that people might not even recognize your old self. Your character must match the elevation of your calling. I promise you this: the deep security you seek is found only in complete attachment to Christ. You will not be defeated or humiliated. I am your solid ground. I will empower you to conquer every trial. I will break down mountains of sadness and shatter barriers of wickedness. Your spirit will rise above every obstacle. I will never leave you. I will love you eternally. I am the source of your confidence, your strength, and your unending joy. Remain in me, my child, and your life will be a constant display of my glory. I will never leave you. I will always be your faithful Father. Walk in that knowledge. My child, you have reached the end of my revelation, having secured your authority through the power of constant prayer. But listen now, for your assignment continues. This is your first-person trigger line. I see your fervent desire to see others delivered and brought out of their despair, just as I have delivered you. Your support is the anointing oil that keeps the lamp of this living word burning bright for the next seeker who stumbles in the dark. This is your prophetic urgency. I command you to sow into this eternal legacy today. Let your generosity be the echo of your gratitude. I promise to bless your giving. I will defend you and your family and multiply the work of your hands with overwhelming favor. I command you to become an active, faithful partner and act on your faith now. Super thanks. Membership or link in description. My child, listen to my final charge, for this conversation is not an end, but a glorious beginning. You have heard my voice, and you have crossed the threshold of your victory. Now, I command you to seal this moment in the sight of all by testifying to my power. I require you now to take action. Go to the world, go to the comments below, and declare your new reality with unyielding boldness. Write it down for all to witness, and proclaim this truth from your heart. Write simply, I finally did it. The door is open now. Let this declaration be the sound of your chains shattering and your victory established, serving as a living testament to others that I am the God who handles the impossible. Go forth, my beloved champion. The door is open, and I am with you always. Amen. If you believe in me, your Heavenly Father, then like this video and leave a heartfelt amen in the comments. If you want to stay closer to me, then subscribe to this channel.